I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up. It is time. It is time. Good morning, and thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. On this show, we talk about fitness-related content from a home gym perspective and get your live reactions to the topics that matter to the home gym community. Plus, we have a lot of fun along the way. I am John Grease III. I am the co-founder of Garage Gym Life, and if this is your first time checking out this show, welcome, and I promise you that you are in for a good time today. Welcome to everybody who's watching on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Thank you for being here. So let me go ahead, and we got a lot going on, so let me go ahead and tell you what is on today's show. So in the first hour, which is now, we'll have news and other things, plus a brand new recliner of rage. I will tell you guys why I'm mad this week, and my advice to you is just go ahead and brace yourself, because I'm actually mad. The second hour, which will be 7 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Central, Carlos Sanchez from Synergy Custom Fitness will be my guest. He's going to be joining the show to talk about how they are disrupting the gym equipment storage industry. Then in the third hour, my guy Jake from HomeGymCon will be joining us. He's going to give us the most comprehensive HomeGymCon update available on the internet. So that's the third hour, which will be 8 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Mountain. You're starting to see a theme, right? 6 a.m. In every time zone in the United States. Then in the final hour, continental United States. Then in the final hour, which will be 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, Ari Kimmelfeld from Trade My Stuff will be here to talk about making Pelotons and other forms of high-end cardio equipment accessible for hardworking people by making it possible to buy and sell your used Peloton on his site. So now that you know what's going on, smash the like button. If you are watching on YouTube, hit subscribe. If you are watching on Instagram, go ahead, hit the follow. If you're watching on Facebook, follow the page. And yeah, all right, that's good. I think I got everything. Now, let's go say hello to everybody in the live chat, because I'm hoping to see Carlos from CB's True Consumer Reviews, because I got a notification last night. I'm not just making this up. Last night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, I got a notification that Carlos was already waiting in line for the show to start. In fact, here is actual footage from our security cameras and showing Carlos in his tent waiting for the show to go live. I don't know if he's out there. So Carlos, are you Carlos? Carlos, are you out there? That doesn't sound safe. Carlos, hey, you know what? Let me message Carlos. Hang on, let me message him. All right, hang on. Let me see if I can get in touch with him, because this is not good. This is not good. We gotta. Anybody know? I don't know if anybody has seen Carlos, but we gotta get my guy. We gotta find him. We gotta get my guy out of that tent. Carlos, that's not safe. That's not safe behavior. If you're watching, if you're in the chat, Carlos, that's not safe behavior. Hey, but just in case, you might have fallen asleep out there. So let's see here. Get my guy. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up a second. Let's look. Hey, there he is, Carlos, CBS TCR. He says, good morning, everyone. Rise up and be more than mediocre. Okay, Carlos, my man, you can't be sleeping in the tent outside the studio, okay? You can't be doing, you can't do that. That's weird. That's weird, okay? I appreciate your enthusiasm. I don't want anybody to think that I don't appreciate the fact that you show up and you ready to stand up to be counted, but my man, come on, man. Your family's going to be worried about you. My guy, Jared Martin, says, happy Friday, boys and girls. Carlos said, let's do it. Hey, the Kurt Locker has arrived. He said, what's happening? He says, retirement day 2. Hey, my man, well-deserved. Well-deserved. You know what? I'm going to give you one of these, man. because, you know, all joking aside, nothing but respect for you. My man has put in his full tour of duty in the United States Air Force, helping to keep our country safe. And so you deserve this right here. That's right. Appreciate you, man. Greatly appreciate you. All right, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. I can't let it go to your head, okay? Anyway, let's see. My guy Eric says good. Normally Eric Eccles is up at like 2 a.m. headed to his job. You know, he drives past people as the club closes and he's headed to work. But he says he's off work today and he woke up just for me. Hey, shout out to you. Well done. Well done, my man, my guy. Man who parks in gym. What's up, Jace? Let's see here. Okay. Carlos said, hey, man, I was excited. Dude, I'm telling you, you got me concerned, okay? He said, I'm from Texas. We do stupid stuff like this all the time. Well, 50 Cal Fitness, I don't see y'all out there sleeping in the tent. So find Carlos and talk some sense into him, okay? All right. And then Kurt said, I swore you were going to send butterflies. All right, my man, once more time, because apparently you forgot. I keep having to remind y'all, this is a no butterfly zone. No butterfly zone. One more time. All right, so there you go. That's why I don't send butterflies, because it's a no butterfly zone. All right, anyway, now that you guys know what is going on, go ahead and smash that like button, as I said. If you haven't already, hit subscribe if you haven't done so and you're watching on YouTube. Hit follow if you are on Instagram or on Facebook watching. And let's go ahead and dive into news and other things. Okay, so first news item is kind of like an update for you guys. My Frankenstein uprights have arrived, and I uploaded a first impressions YouTube Shorts video that our channel members have already gotten a chance to watch, or if they haven't, that's not my fault because I made it available for them. But so it's on YouTube and is only accessible to channel members right now. It's going to go public next week. I think I got it set for Monday, but whatever. But you don't have to wait that long, because just because you guys, oh my God, Carlos said, can somebody help me? The 10 zipper is stuck. See, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Hey, let's see who's over here on Instagram before I forgot. Dad Bod 2 Jim Bod joined. What's up, man? Wicked Woody joined. What's up? What's up? Hey, Dad Bod the Jim Bod says, good morning from sunny England. Hey, what's up, man? Isn't it actually afternoon for you right now? But I appreciate you being here. Spider with A joined, and Hualing Sheng, or maybe a Sheng, depending on which dialect of Chinese you speak. He joined. Appreciate you being here as well. So for anybody who's wondering, because of how Instagram is set up, if I want to see comments from Instagram, I'm gonna have to look to my right. So I have to remind myself to look that way. And so if I look that way and I'm talking, it's because I'm looking at the Instagram comments. Okay. Anyway, Dadbot, the Gym Bot said it's 11 a.m. at the moment there. Okay, cool. Good deal. Good deal. All right. Now, let's do news and other things. So this is an update for those of you who have been watching the show and keeping up with this. My Frankenstein uprights from Iron Bull Strength have arrived. And like I said, I uploaded the first impressions video. That's members only right now on YouTube. But just because you guys are awesome, I'm going to go ahead and play that video here for you now. So go ahead, and this is my first impressions video. So you go ahead and check it out. Hey, we just got in these Frankenstein uprights from Iron Bull Strength, and we're really excited about them because these are keyhole uprights. And what that means is that the holes are shaped like a keyhole with a 1-inch hole on the top and a 5-inch hole on the bottom. And that really opens things up for us because we're no longer limited to using just 5/8 or just 1-inch attachments. So, for example, my wife likes squatting outside the rack. So she can install these roller J cups from bells and steel that have a 5/8 post on the rack. And she can also install our custom spotter arms that say Garage and Knife on them, even though they have a 1-inch post. And so that gives us the best of both worlds. and gives us a lot more options when we're searching for rack attachments. It seems so far that the design of these keyhole uprights are a little bit better designed than the other ones that are on the market, but we'll keep on testing it and come back in a couple of months to let you know our final verdict. All right, so that was, let me go ahead and fix that. All right, so that was the first impressions video. Like I said, you guys can check. I know it's only a minute long. So definitely no orange uprights for me on me. This is strictly, you see that sign there? You see that? Jared, you know better. All right, no orange in the house. Go big orange somewhere else, okay? We red and black all day. Anyway, so things about the Frankenstein uprights that I can say now that I didn't mention in the video is it was a little tricky to swap out the uprights because I'm going from 5/8 to keyhole uprights. So the holes didn't quite line up exactly, if that makes sense, right? Because you got here, check this out. So see how the keyhole, let me stop right there. So see the 1-inch hole is on the top. And so my 5/8 hole, the cross members are still 5/8, right? So they don't line up exactly. They were kind of like in between where they needed to be. Now, if I was going from a 1-inch hole rack to the keyhole, it may have lined up, but that's not something that I anticipated. And to be honest with you, I was about to go high into the right about it, but I thought about why it was, because it does say on the Iron Bull Strength website. In fact, I'll go there right now. First screen share of the day. Let's go ahead and share the screen right now. All right. So it does say on the Iron Bull Strength website that they are, first of all, they give credit to Flex Marks the Spot and the Home Gym Life Project, and they should have given credit to Joe Gray because Joe Gray introduced them to Mark from Flex Marks the Spot, but I digress. In any case, the point is that they said the rack is designed to fit any rack from any brand. So whether you've got a 1-inch hole rack from Rep or a 5/8 hole rack from Bells of Steel, whatever, they said these keyhole uprights should fit your rack, okay? So let's go ahead and stop sharing, go back over here. We'll come back to that in a second. And but the point is that when you go to swap the uprights, it doesn't match up. If you're going from 5/8 to that, it doesn't match up exactly. And so it was a little bit annoying, but shout out to my guy Casey from Consecrated Tech. And because he actually came over to deliver the speakers I'm using right now. You see, I don't have headphones on. Came over to deliver these speakers, and I told him what was going on. And he's like, well, because I thought that my wife and I were going to have to take the whole thing apart, right? And he's like, well, let's go, let's see if we can do it 2 uprights at a time and just kind of walk it. And that's what we ended up doing. So it took an hour and a half instead of, maybe 3 hours to assemble it, especially since it once again came without a manual, but whatever. Let's see. First question. Jared says, wanted to know if I only replaced the front uprights. No. Iron Bull Strength actually sent me 6 uprights. So my entire rack, all 6 posts of my rack have been replaced with the keyhole uprights because I wanted to see, obviously if I only replaced a couple of them, then I'd be able to just say, well, this is what happened, right? But I wanted to see like what the pros and cons would be of replacing all of them. And I mean, especially since they sent me 6. So I went ahead and put on another. Now, I do not know. Let me put it a different way. I think that I might be the first person to actually get these in my hands. I haven't seen any reviews from anybody else. And I've spoken to some people who I expected to already have keyhole uprights. And they said theirs had not arrived yet. So when that video posts on YouTube, everybody do me a favor. Go watch it and help me out because it is, and share it. It's going to be, like I said, public on Monday, and it's going to be the only video out in the wild of someone who's actually got these keyhole uprights other than obviously Iron Bull Strength, themselves, right? But yeah, to answer your question, I replaced all 6 posts. Let's see what else. Now, as far as attachments going on the rack, I didn't have any issues with attachments fitting on there. As you saw from the video, I was able to put our custom power rack, not custom power rack, our custom safety spotter arms that have hashtag Garage Gym Life on them. I was able to put those there. Those have a 1-inch post for 1-inch holes. I was able to put my Bells of Steel roller J-cups that have 5/8 holes on there. My cup that has my cup holder, that has 5/8 pin went on there, no problem. We've got a rack step, like you can step on if like if you need to reach the pull-up bar and it's too high up. We've got one of those from Fringe Sport that's got a 1-inch hole, and it's got a 1-inch post, and it fit on there just fine. So just about everything that we've tried so far has fit just fine. So that's a good thing. And also because, once again, let me show you guys this. Pause that. So once again, because the 1-inch hole is at the top, and you see that, you may be able to see, you may not, but the hole tapers a little bit. So even if it were upside down, you shouldn't have any issues with the 5/8 pin falling into the 1-inch hole. All right. So, and obviously it doesn't, the other way around, it doesn't happen either. So that isn't an issue. Now, what does happen is, because the holes are on either side, so you can actually set this rack up to have the logo facing front or the logo facing to the side. And I did change that because it's a little bit different if the logo is facing in front versus on the side. The major difference is, so it just lined up better for me by having the numbers facing inboard and the logo facing to the front. But the thing that I noticed is, if I'm putting a pin that's a 5/8 pin, something that's got a 5/8 pin on, and I don't pay attention, it could slide up into the 1-inch hole. Okay. And so then it'll be off center or offset or whatever. So you kind of have to make sure that everything is completely level, so you don't have any issues. So, but I'm assuming that that's going to be something that is just going to come with, just like the more I do it, the easier it'll get, just like anything else. So I also tested out the rack. I went ahead and did a workout. So this is, and I have not posted this, but because I plan on showing you guys this. So all 702 of you are about to be the first ones to see this video of me. This is my first workout on my Frankenstein racks, Frankenstein upright. I have not tried it with my Crano Fitness monolift arms yet. I have put them on there, but I have not actually tried to bench with them yet. But I will say my wife has used the rack. She actually used it before I did, and she didn't have any complaints. So, yeah. Got more questions on YouTube. Let's see. Okay. Ah, all right. Yeah, I forgot that my mic gets muted when the videos play. My bad. All right. So what I said is I worked up to a set of 5 in the squat, and I worked up to a set of 5 in the behind the neck press. Just try to keep it conservative. Yeah, I just try to keep it conservative. Can you? I'm assuming you guys can hear me now. I just forgot that the mic gets muted when I play video. But yeah, I worked up to a set of 5 behind the neck press. I worked up to a set of 5 in the squat. Just trying to keep it conservative, but I wanted to test because where I set the J cups for behind the neck press is slightly different than where I set it. It's basically one hole higher than where I set it for squats, and I wanted to see like what the difference would be. And I have installed my Cranial Fitness monolift arms on there, but I have not actually used them to bench yet. So that's coming. But my wife used the rack before I did, and she says she's pleased. Eric said, "Are there foot plates on the uprights?" Yes, but they're very small and they are out to the sides. Yeah. So, let's see here, and I appreciate that, Jared. Yeah, I figured out. So last week the audio was crazy. I figured out what it was. It had defaulted to my other mic. So the center cam has a mic on it, and I hadn't realized that it had defaulted to that mic for some reason because I didn't tell it to do it, but it just decided to do it anyway. But order has been restored. All right. So anyway, the review of those uprights is ongoing. So if anybody who's watching on Instagram, if you have a question about those uprights or whatever, or if you're watching this on replay on YouTube and you have a question, just go ahead and put your question in the comment section and I will respond. I'll either respond to it or it'll be something that I add to the review video when we put it out. Right now, we're planning on testing the Frankenstein uprights roughly 30 days because what I want is to have the video out by the time HomeGymCon, by the time we go to HomeGymCon. So that way, if you guys have questions, like you put questions in the comments on the review video, I can then ask Frank from Iron Bull Strength those questions when I see him at HomeGymCon, if that makes sense. So yeah, go ahead and throw your comments. Anything you want to know specifically about those uprights, let me know. If I can answer the questions now, I will. If not, I will. Or if it's just something like, hey, when you're doing the review, can you check and see XYZ? Whatever you want to know. I'm happy to answer it. All right, moving on. Now, apparently it is first of all, I forgot something else. There's another thing. This is back to the Frankenstein uprights. The numbering is a little off. So the Frankenstein uprights, the numbering starts at the 5th hole from the bottom. Go back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Starts at the 5th keyhole from the bottom. With the old uprights, it started at the 11th hole and went up to, the numbering went up as far as 25, and then there were more just unnumbered holes going to the top. With the Frankenstein uprights, you guys see that it starts at the 5th hole, and then it goes all the way up. You see the different attachments I have on there right now. It goes all the way up to 30, and then you get more. I mean, I counted 12 holes, 12 more keyholes going up to the top. Of course, some of those aren't usable because that's where your cross members are attached, but the numbering is a little bit off. So what that means is, Jared, I actually took your suggestion. You told me a few months ago you had this thing where you write down where you put all your rack attachments. There you go. See, I was already talking about it, Jared. So I have a chart on my dry erase board where I list my exact number hole for where I set up the J cups for roller J cups and for squats. I have it where I set up my monolift arms for bench. And then I also have the setting for my safety. Now that I can use my safety spotter arms again, I have the setting for where I set them for bench and for squat. But honestly, I had already been doing that with the old rack. I just didn't say anything about it, but I had it set up for the old rack as well. The only difference is I couldn't use the safety spotter arms. So instead I had the height for safety bars, for the safety bars. Now I still have that too, but now that I can use the safety spotter arms, I have that number there as well. So yeah, I thought it was a good tip. I went ahead and I did it. See, I listen, Jared. I listen when you talk. Okay, I know you don't think I do, but I do listen. All right, now we're all done with Frankenstein rack talk. All right, let's move on. Next item. Apparently, it is National Bike Month in Canada, and out of all the holidays that I thought you would need, that was not one of them. But what it means is you got a chance to save money. So Bells of Steel wants you to check out their lineup of bikes. Now, I will say that if you got the same email I did, if you subscribe to the email newsletter like I am, when you got the email, the link in that email actually takes you to the, hang on, remove that. I don't need that anymore. Takes you to the, that's right, Canadian site. So, but that's an easy fix because you can then just click shop in the USA. Look at all these happy Canadians. Look how happy they are. Anyway, you can just click to go to the US site, and you know they got the same stuff. Well, I assume they got the same stuff. Got the same stuff on there, and they mentioned that if you order from the US site, it's going to be, as you know, fulfilled, or you may not know, but it's going to be fulfilled from their Indianapolis, Indiana location, and shipping will be included in the purchase price. So once you click checkout, you know, you add it to the cart and you click checkout, you're not going to be charged extra for shipping. Okay. I know it says free shipping on the thing, but there's no such thing as free shipping. But at least you know you won't get charged extra for shipping. All right. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that, except I can vouch for at least the indoor cycling bikes from Bells of Steel. The Blitz or indoor cycling bike, my wife has it. She loves it. She swears by it for her warm-ups, and we've had it for several months now, and she's still in love with it. I know that other people have checked out some of the other indoor bikes from Bells of Steel, the Blitz Max Air Bike, Residential Air Bike. I don't remember who the people are. I know Carp had one. I just don't remember which one he had. But yeah, I know other people like other ones, but the one that we like, let me say, I like it because my wife likes it. I don't use it, but I like it because my wife likes it. And the one that she says that she's a fan of is the Blitz indoor cycling bike. Oh, okay. They're happy down here too. These are Canadians though. Look how happy they are. All right. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. If you would like to check that out, you can go to the Bells of Steel website and check it out. They also have pre-tariff pricing. Supposedly you can qualify for that in some cases. And it should, let me see here. If it has pre-tariff pricing, it should say it on the actual unit. So these might be the current prices with tariffs. I'm not sure because it doesn't show it. Normally, if it says if it has pre-tariff pricing, it'll show like a differentiator, right? Or wait a minute. Maybe it's, hang on, let's see something here. Maybe if it's got tariff, yeah, there we go. So I'm sorry. If it doesn't have this on there, then it's pre-tariff pricing. So those bikes already were pre-tariff pricing, whereas this bar, the Bare Naked Powerlifting bar, has the $329.99 USD price, and then you see this like and they have the breakdown showing that it's actually $241.99 plus an $88 tariff surcharge. So there you go. So the bikes, to go back to what I was saying, the bikes have pre-tariff pricing because you don't see that little thing right there. So that's, you don't see the tariff surcharge information. So this is going to be 100% pre-tariff pricing if you decide to go grab it. If you are watching on YouTube, you can also just click the shopping button on this video, and it will take you to the allow you to purchase those bikes as well. Kurt says it's hard not to be happy when your money is loony. Hey, I mean, it's cold up there. All they got to do is, to do with their time is play hockey and eat poutine. whatever that is. It sounds disgusting, to be honest with you. Just the name doesn't sound right. But yeah. So, and also they got that weird bacon that ain't really bacon. Yeah, I would only do a day trip to Canada. There's just too much going on. Okay. Sorry. Nah. I don't care if my favorite X-Man is from Canada. I can't do it. I do a day trip to Canada though. I do a day trip. I do that. All right, moving on. Next thing. Let's see. We're scrolling on through. We got 15 minutes. We are on schedule. I'm so proud of myself. We're on schedule. Round of applause for me. Settle down. All right. I gotta go back to the show. All right. So next item, I really like this next item. This is not an affiliate thing. I just saw it, and we do have an affiliate thing with Bells of Steel, so I guess I should mention that. But we do. This is not an affiliate thing. This next item, and that is AbMat has a new collaboration with the padded wall, and I thought it was really cool. Let me go ahead and share the screen on that one, so we can break this down just a little bit. So, number one, this product is supposed to be compatible with any squat rack from anywhere. All right, so that's the first thing. It's embiggening it a little bit, as Ms. Marvel would say. And so as you can see, it is a rack-mounted solution for medicine ball throws. So the basic idea is that the people who created this wanted to be able to do medicine ball throws and whatnot, and they couldn't because of where they lived. So they didn't have somewhere to put it. So in collaboration with AbMat, they created this thing that mounts to your rack. It weighs 35 pounds, and the product dimensions are 51 by 31 by 5 inches. And apparently is designed so like if you are a member of like a public gym, you can get the person who owns the gym to buy one or two or however many or 50, I don't care, and have them there so that you guys can do your wall balls without damaging his wall. But now, wall balls, medicine ball throws, whatever. But if you are owners of the best gym in town, which is your home gym, then you can get one for your home gym for $445. And now you have to worry about throwing your medicine ball through the plaster in your, in your spare bedroom or wherever your home gym is located. So like I said, I don't know what you guys. I do want to hear from you guys about what you think of the price, but I do like the concept. All right, we got a question. Eric says, I wonder if this is another HomeGymCon collab. I wouldn't be surprised, man. We got Jake coming on from HomeGymCon later on, and that's going to be one of the things that I expect him to talk about is like the advantages to businesses if they come to HomeGymCon, because a lot of businesses are concerned that they're going to, somebody's going to just copy their ideas or steal their ideas. And that may happen. I'm not saying it won't, but what I have seen is a lot of collaboration, a lot of situations where one business, because you're all right there in the same room. So it's, it's hard for them not to see each other. And then they see each other, they recognize, hey, that's something cool that's going on over there. Maybe it aligns with our business. Maybe it's something that could work, that we can, cooperate to make, to get out to our customers or whatever. It's something mutually beneficial. And so I've seen quite a number of HomeGymCon or quite a number of collaborations that started at HomeGymCon, which is just another reason why I'm such a huge fan of the event. But anyway, that is it. If anybody is interested, I will put the link in the live chat for you guys here. In fact, I'll just go ahead and do that now. If you are watching, so now everybody will be able to see it. Actually, I'm curious. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it's not going to go to Instagram. Nope, because Instagram is weird. So I'll just paste it right here. All right, so I just posted it. So there you go. You'll just copy and paste that, and that'll take you to the link. Like I said, I don't have any affiliate thing with them, so I'm not going to put the link in my bio. But I do want you guys to be able to check it out if you are interested. And then for those of you who are watching on replay, if I get enough, if people are interested enough, I will add this to the video description here on YouTube. All right. Let's see. Looks like we only have one question about it. So go ahead and let's get rid of that. Stop screen. All right. So that is done with that. Padded walls, get rid of that. Okay. See, it is now. Okay. I don't know if I should do this or not. So for those of you who are wondering, so here's the situation. Normally, Recliner Rage happens at 6:45 Eastern Time. So that's 9 minutes from now. In this situation, I'm not sure how long the segment is going to take because I am fairly worked up about what I'm going to talk about. And I assume, I may not get any responses. I may get some, I don't know, but I'm not sure if I should start now. So let's take a vote. I'm going to let the chat decide. Do y'all want me to do Recliner Rage? Go ahead and go to Recliner Rage now. Or do you want to do quick? And by quick, I mean 10 minutes and 10 minutes only. Free for all. You pick the topic. So quick responses. That means tell me what you, wait a minute. All right. Let's see here. Before we get into that, we got another question. So Eric said he's saying, I mean between AbMat and Pattern. Yeah, I know. I understood what you meant. That you were asking if it was a HomeGymCon collab between AbMat and Padded Wall. And they were at HomeGymCon year one. Yes. So but yeah, once again, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised because so many collaborations have happened related to HomeGymCon because of HomeGymCon. All right, so we've got 3 votes for go ahead with Recliner Rage, no votes against. So let me scroll up, make sure I didn't miss anything. Dad bod to Gym bod. Do you want me? Okay. Anybody got a vote on Instagram? Anybody? If you don't vote, you're voting yes. All right, cool. Let's go ahead, jump into this is our most popular segment. And let's go. Recliner Rage right now.
It's the Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage, 'cause he's not happy.
Okay. I normally keep Recliner of Rage pretty light, a little tongue in cheek. I recognize that I am typically going off about something that in the grand scheme of things really doesn't matter. Sometimes it's even self-inflicted. So I try to keep it light. Today is not that day. And today is not that day because the people behind the BOLDE, that's BOLDE, bottle on Instagram, their is @BoldLife, have stolen my intellectual property. Someone, I don't want to say who because I don't want to get them mixed up in this. They're watching right now. So if they want to out themselves, that's up to them. But I'm not going to say anything except thank you for letting me know because that person messaged me on Instagram. I was actually in church and I happened to be on Instagram because I'm the one who puts the link for the church Instagram to let people go watch the sermon on YouTube. So anyway, so I happened to be on Instagram for that. But in the process, I saw my own Instagram. I saw I had a DM. So I was like, well, let me just check it real quick. And I'm glad I did because this was a message from the person who said they had seen an ad for BOLDE. I don't know if it's BOLDE or BOLDE, but they've seen an ad come across their feed and they messaged me saying, hey, less than 10 seconds into this ad, is that you? And the answer is, yes, it is indeed me. So I'll let you guys be the judge of whether it's me or not. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen right now. So the video's already playing. It's going to have to restart. That's definitely not me. Those are not my pores. All right. Okay. So this is an ad they created to obviously make money. All right. They've got their little thing. Bold takes the shit. All right. Let's see here. Let's see if they change it. All right. Did they change it? Okay. Let's see here. If they took it down, then that means they're trying to get away from it. So let me do this right here. Paste. There we go. Nice try. All right, so this is the original video. All right. All right. See that? See that guy? Hope y'all saw that, right? Okay. So they took my image and likeness and put it in that ad. Okay. And then uploaded it to Instagram so that it wouldn't flag YouTube to reach out to me that my content was being used in somebody's video. Now, let's be clear. This is not fair use. Fair use covers if you take somebody's video or photo for the purposes of making like commentary. So for example, let's say somebody posts a video. Let's say I post a video and then somebody else, let's go Jonathan from No Fate, decides to comment on my video. He's done that in the past. I didn't complain about it. It's not a big deal. And in fact, I understood why he did it. So he was making commentary. That's fair use, and I would have been fine with it. What you can't do is take somebody's intellectual property, which is what taking my video represents. You can't take someone else's intellectual property to create a video for the purposes of making money for yourself. And that's what they've done. So they took my image and likeness from this video. Let's share this just to prove that it's this video. All right. That video right there. Same image. You see that, right? Took the image from that video. Oops. We don't need to hear that. All right. They took the image from that video, which has about 31,000 views. Okay. And put it in their ad. Okay. And then put it in the ad that I just showed you. Okay. Now, as I said, I might let it slide if it was just somebody who was making a video for their personal non-commercial use, or somebody who was using my video to make commentary. I would have been fine with either one of those. I am not on board with a brand that should know better taking my content for the purposes of making a profit for themselves and not either compensating me or even have the common decency to attribute what they stole from me to me. They are fully aware of who I am because I've contacted them in the past about other things. I actually made a video where I included their bottle among the shaker bottles, saying I was comparing shaker bottles to see which one was the best. And furthermore, I published a YouTube Shorts video about the Bold bottle on my YouTube channel, which which has about, let's see here. So this video, which mentions them and tags them, which is the point I'm making, has about 193,000 views, about 2,200 likes, whatever. So they know who I am. So they can't say, oh, well, we didn't know who you were, so we didn't have a way to get in touch with you. No, I've contacted them before. We've been in communication before. They chose to take what's mine and not compensate or even attribute my work to me. All right, I see I got a question. You don't understand, Home Gym Physique. Surely people taking other YouTube videos for commentary still have the intention of making money from their video. Yes, you're still going to make money from watch time. Just like if a news station takes your video to talk about an incident that happened as part of the news, they're obviously, the news channel is still going to get compensated because of the ads that run during the news program. That's true. However, the point is legally fair use covers commentary and allows it. What fair use does not cover is taking somebody's video and turning it into an ad where you directly profit off their work. You cannot take what's mine to profit off of it in your work to make sales for your company without compensating me, as I said, or even acknowledging me that I'm the one that created the original video. And I don't care that it's only a short clip. I don't care because what you're telling me is, oh, you only stole from me a little bit. It is not okay. And if you are a content creator, this should bother you, because the way they did it by putting it on Instagram is because they know full and well that if they had done this on YouTube, YouTube would have let them know, or would have let me know, so I could have demanded that they take it down. Or they would have gotten either a copyright claim or a copyright strike. But they put it on a different platform so they could hide it. They put it on a different. Well, how would I know that? All right, it says, so the person who took your video didn't even inform. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have snapped at you. HomeGymPhysique said, I understand. So the person who took your video didn't even inform. No, they did not inform me. They didn't let me know. The way I found out was because somebody who is a follower of mine on Instagram and who's a member of my YouTube channel, so he's seen the video, and heck, he knows what I look like, saw the video come across his Instagram feed, and he immediately DM'd me and said, hey, is this you? So had that not happened, I would still not know. And let me tell you this. Think about this with Instagram. You have no way of knowing how long a video has been on Instagram. So just because you saw it today doesn't mean that they posted it today. They could have been making sales off of this video. Well, so my video was put up 2 years ago. The video they stole the content from is 2 years old. 2 years old. I've never seen that ad before my friend sent it to me. So I have no way of knowing how long they've been using it to sell their product. No, it's not cool. No, it is not cool. All right. So what I did, I reached out to them on Instagram. I said, hey, you took my content. Crickets, no answer. All right. So then I sent them, and I used their email, their contact form. I emailed them saying, reach out to me. No answer. All right. I did it again this morning. Okay. So far, I've received no DMs, nothing. I had to use the contact form because they don't have a customer service number listed, or else I would have called them. But that's what you do when you're trying to hide. So I'm repeating my request. And I'm not that guy to just be unreasonable. I'm repeating the request. If you're watching this and you are affiliated with BOLDE in any capacity, please reach out to me either via Instagram, DM at Garage Gym Life. You can send me an email. My email is public. Hey, you can Google my name, John Greaves III. Google it. You will find me. Google it. I ain't hard to find. What you'll also see if you Google my name is I got no problem fighting in the ring or on the battlefield. I'm not about to let somebody you will not take what's mine. And you won't try to just bully me, because if they're doing it to me, also think about the fact that they're probably doing it to other people and they've gotten away with it because nobody else has said anything. Today is not that day. Carlos said that's the same thing with a company I test and review tech for. They say I can do whatever I want with the product except advertise and sell it online because they feel that's biting the hand, etc. I'm telling you, this is not okay. This is not okay. Now, since I'm complaining, I also reported this to Instagram, which was predictably unhelpful. Unlike YouTube, where, as I mentioned, YouTube will actually reach out to you. Doesn't matter how small your channel is, you will get a notification if somebody takes your content. And you can then have the option to have the copyright infringement removed, or you can just say, don't worry about it, right? When I clicked the link to report fraudulent behavior on Instagram, I got redirected to a blog post explaining what constitutes theft of intellectual property, which I didn't need to read because I already know what constitutes theft of intellectual property. This. So let's put it in perspective. Instagram will block you if you post a video of yourself deadlifting in your garage in your own house, and your favorite song happens to be playing on the radio in the video. They will block that video and take it down. When that's basically a video that you just posted so your friends can see it and your followers. You're not trying to make money off of that. They will come down on you for that. But let somebody actually have a true legitimate grievance about theft of intellectual property and they say nothing and they're not helpful at all. And you, in case y'all are wondering why I don't post as much on Instagram, that right there is the reason. Because they don't respect content creators. They don't respect you, because somebody could take, if you're on Instagram right now, they don't respect you because somebody could take your name, image, likeness, and create a fake account and they won't say a word. You go complain, they won't say a word. I've seen it happen. I've seen it done. They don't say a word because they do not care. They do not care. And I'm going to say now, Joey said, I've seen that happen so often in this space. It needs to stop. Yeah, it needs to stop. Carp said, I've seen that's a lot of stuff in this space. It's oftentimes the only way you hear about it from others. It makes people think you're working at a company oftentimes when you're not. Yeah. Literally, all they had to do is reach out. Hey, is it cool if we use this video? Be honest with you, I probably would have been like, okay, sure. But you can't take it without asking. I might let you borrow my car, but you definitely can't steal it. In fact, let me say this. This is not directed at anybody specifically, but if you feel like if it fits you, it fits you. Anybody who says I'm getting worked up over nothing, it doesn't matter. It's just a video. You can kick rocks with open-toe shoes on. Because if my video didn't have value, BOLDE would have recorded themselves smelling a shaker bottle and used that in their video. Instead, they chose to steal my content that I shot, edited, uploaded, then spent time developing the SEO for so it could have a positive number of views on a platform. I am not letting this go. Like I said, I've got another email in to them. I'm hoping for a response. But yeah, if you guys want to go to, you can find them at BOLDE Life. Go on there and let them know. Now, let me stop. Hold up. Don't go on there cussing them out. All I want them to do is contact me. That's it. Just contact me. Show some common courtesy and contact me. That's all I'm saying. All right? That's all I'm asking them to do. Just reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. Because I also understand that people employ contractors. Sometimes those contractors do something out of pocket. But I do expect that I've reached out to them 4 different ways. So, and this will be the 5th. And I do expect them to respond. If not, all right, very well. We will escalate. I ain't the one. I'm not the one. Not the one. And I'm not letting this go. I'm absolutely not letting this go. Period. Dot. Anyway. Don't take that sigh from me calming down. I'm still mad. In fact, I was already mad. To be honest with you, I was mad about it. This does make me laugh. I was so worked up because I sent the email and I got so worked up that I almost started the show an hour early by mistake because I was just typing. I almost started the show at 5 a.m. instead of 6. Because I was so mad. Because it's been about a week since this happened, right? So it was last Sunday when I saw it. So I've been waiting for a response for 7 days almost. Getting madder and madder each day. Carp says, just because you see your favorite content creator in something, don't assume that they're getting paid to be in that ad. Yeah. Carlos said, no calm down on this one. No, don't. I have zero intention of calming down because it's not right. And the thing that makes me even angrier is I know they've done it to other people, and those people probably just got mad and complained to their friends and didn't do anything about it. Maybe they didn't reach out to the company. I am not going to do that. This is me basically just saying I'm trying to give you a fair chance to reach out to me. Okay? Just do what's right. Reach out, do what's right. That's all I'm asking. Do what's right. You know what you did was wrong. Do what's right. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Okay. Now that I've thoroughly killed everybody's vibe on a Friday morning, I apologize. But like I said, I told y'all, today is the day. Today is a day where I am legitimately angry. Oh, Rob, all right. So I'll give you the Cliff Notes version of my rant. Bold Life, the people who make the Bold bottle, stole a video from me. They stole a video from me and posted on their they stole a video from my YouTube channel, posted it on their Instagram as an ad to make money for their company. Now, the video that I posted that they stole from is 2 years old. So I would not have even known if somebody else hadn't told me about it because it came across their feed. And because the video that they stole the image, the footage from is 2 years old, I have no way of knowing how long they've been using my intellectual property to make money for their company. So I have zero interest in calming down because this isn't right. And I found out about 7 days ago, reached out to them, and I've heard nothing but crickets since then. All you got to do, and dude, all they had to do was ask me. I probably would have been like, yeah, sure. Just, make sure you give me credit, have at it. But because they didn't ask, yeah. Anyway, like I said, it is 6:57, almost 7 o'clock. So let's go ahead and let's put that to the side, because one thing you can't do is, even when you're mad, somebody does something wrong, that shouldn't ruin the rest of your day, and it should not redirect you from the rest of what you had planned. So the show is going on. So there we go. Okay, maybe not. See, I'm glad we went ahead and did this early. So Iron Clinic wants to know, what do you think about basic contracts that limit content reuse? I do have, so when I do contracts with people for whom I'm working, if I'm doing a contract, I let them know, hey, you cannot you either can reuse my content for this period of time, or you could only use it for organic use, like if I mention you, or something like that, or you have no right to reuse it. Okay, that's not this situation. Okay, I had no previous contractual relationship with them, even though they know who I am. They just stole content from my YouTube channel and used it. So yeah. Kurt, you are correct. I got nothing to do but cause trouble. I got nothing to do but time to cause trouble for them. That's all right. So, no, man. Hey, like I said, just because one thing that is a benefit of the fact that I used to fight in the ring is I'm fully capable of applying pressure in one direction and turning around and being completely cool and happy and whatever with people who I'm not mad at. Okay, I ain't mad at any of y'all, so I can vibe with you. We're good. We're good. I just wanted to put the word out there. Hey, this is just the beginning. So yeah, go ahead and say first. Go ahead and say first. I ain't mad at you. All right, it is 6:59 in the morning on the East Coast, 5:59 where you guys are. So let's go ahead and say shout out to the Central Time Zone. I appreciate you guys for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. If this is your first time checking out the show and you got in here mid-rant, it's normally not like that. I promise we actually have a good time on the show, because normally we are just talking about what we are interested in. That is the home gym community and the brands and equipment that we all love to talk about. So you guys are in for a good time because I've got coming up, I see him backstage right now. He is eager, okay? Carlos is backstage right now, tan, rested, and alert, okay? He's ready to go. And so he's going to be coming on and talking about Synergy Custom Fitness. And I'm really excited to talk about that brand with you guys. They're doing some really cool things. Like I said, they are disrupting the gym equipment storage industry, which if you are a home gym owner, you understand why that industry is so important. All right. Maybe somebody who's a public gym member doesn't care about storage, but if you got a home gym, especially if it's small and cramped, you are completely interested in storage. So within a couple of minutes, we're going to have Carlos come on and we're going to be diving all into that. In the meantime, quick shout out to everyone who's ordered the Garage Gorilla Bar. That the Garage Gorilla Bar is a beautiful collaboration between Garage Gym Life and Gorilla Strength. I am truly a fan of how the bar feels and performs. It is a 45-pound knurled axle bar. Total length is 80 inches. It's got a 1,800-pound working load capacity. Now, it does require axle bar collars, but that's, to me, is a minor issue because it doesn't have the revolving sleeves. The knurling is medium aggressive, and I will tell you, I got one downstairs. I had the first one. It was my idea to make it, which is how the whole collaboration initially began. And the things I like about it are the extra surface area of the bar in your palm gives you a greater connection to the bar. It lets you articulate your hands in a way that's more comfortable to your shoulders. And in fact, I will go ahead and let's see here. I'll pull it up so you guys can check it out, see what it looks like. The Garage Gorilla Bar, boom, right here. Let's go ahead and share that screen so you guys can check it out because you can order it exclusively from Gorilla Strength Equipment. And while you're there, go ahead and grab something else to outfit your home gym. But that is the bar. It is $375 plus shipping and 100% made in America. Now, lead time is 2 weeks or less. So once you place your order, allow 2 weeks lead time. You might get it faster than that, but give it 2 weeks lead time. That way, if it shows up sooner, you're not disappointed. All right. And I can tell you that it's actually harder to use than a regular bar, regular 29 millimeter power bar because the sleeves don't spin. So it gives you an awesome training effect. I've got the best tricep pumps using that bar for the various movements. So I'm a huge fan of it. And shout out to all of you guys who have purchased one because you are supporting the channel every time you do that. And hey, let me know. I still love hearing from people who tell me that they're using the bar and that they like it. So there we go. All right, let us go ahead and do one more thing here before we bring my guy Carlos on. And let's see here. Okay. Okay, let's see. Oops. Give me just a second because I'm gonna. It's not letting me do it. Hold on. All right. Oh, okay. And here we go. All right. Oh, okay. That's what's wrong. Okay. There we go. All right. So now we got that riveting bit of stuff done. Shout out to everyone who is joining us from LinkedIn. So we got Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook watching right now. You guys are in for a treat because my next guest is Carlos Sanchez, the CEO of Synergy Custom Fitness. They are a brand that is completely disrupting the home gym equipment industry with their innovative approach to equipment storage. So, Carlos, are you ready? Boom, he's ready. All right, everybody, warm welcome to my guy, Carlos. Carlos, are you muted?
I'm not. Can you hear me?
Yeah. There's your theme song. Welcome to the show.
I love it, man.
There you go. Welcome.
I feel like I'm walking into an arena.
Oh, of course. Like Rick, if I could play the Ric Flair theme song without getting this video demonetized, I would do it because that's what you deserve, Carlos.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good morning, and
Hey,
thank
good
you for
morning, man.
everyone for being online. So
Yeah, man. So I feel like I just spoke to you yesterday, Carlos. But
probably, yeah.
hey, but thank you for getting up way too early with Garage in Life. So let's dive right into this. You already got a comment. It's the Kurt Locker says, love everything Synergy is doing with storage. Says you guys are highly underrated. You're very underrated. So there we go.
Much
All right.
appreciated.
And my guy Joey Echeverria says, good to see you, Carlos. So look at it. You came in with fans. Look at that.
Oh
Celebrity.
wow!
All
I
right.
didn't know I had fun, but thank you. What's
I
up,
mean, you
Joey?
might have paparazzi hiding in the bushes. I don't know what's going on over there. All right. So let's dive into this, man. You guys have a true family business. Alex, your co-founder, is your brother-in-law. You're the CEO, and Chris, who I believe is your CMO, is your son. Then your daughter-in-law runs the social media operation. So let's just start with,
Yeah.
most of the time people say you need to keep family and business separate. So what does it take to be successful as a true family-run business? How do you guys make that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, let me first just kind of clarify. So, Alex, my brother-in-law, is the CEO. I'm actually the COO, and
Okay, okay.
my son is the CMO.
So you're
I
the chief
apologize.
operating officer.
Yeah,
Alex is the founder and the CEO, and then your son is the
yeah.
CMO. Got it. All right.
Alex and I are co-founders. We together since the very beginning, and
Right.
and so I run all operations of the company. So yeah, to your question, that's a very good question, because that's a direction, that's something that can go in any direction. If you're with family, I think in our case, the way that the one of the things that really have helped us be successful in this, and is to really have transparency and setting right expectations from the beginning. I also have to you have to also play the right strength and put people in the right places. And what that means is, family members don't earn a spot because they're family members. They earn a
Mm.
spot because of their strength, because of their abilities and their talents. And everyone's very clear on that. You didn't mention either, but my daughter is actually the one running our customer service. My Alex's son actually is the one that runs the order fulfillment part. So we truly are a
Oh
family
wow.
business.
Oh wow.
Truly are. So that's been the secret. We just have to be very transparent, set the right expectations, play the right strength and talents and abilities, set people up for success. Uh, so um, so when you're having those conversations, and I'm talking to my son, for example, who's running all the marketing, that truly is his strength. He really can lecture me on that, because he really is really good at it, and I lean on him for it. And the same with other areas too. People are there because none of them have ever come to me or Alex, hey, can I go work for you? We really felt like, man, their talent fits exactly for what we need to do. And that has made a big difference and helps a lot.
So, like, I sent you the list of questions, and I said, well, how do you keep Thanksgiving dinner from becoming a business meeting? Because, and that question came out because I was watching the interview you guys did with Jake at Garage Gym Radio, and and Alex said, I'm sorry, not Alex, Chris said something, and he referred to Alex as just Alex, right? Which is normal in a business setting. But he didn't say Uncle Alex, right?
Right.
So it's like, do you guys just say, hey, look, yeah, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m., I'm not dad, I'm not uncle, I'm just, hey, we're just working together. And then when we leave here, it's back to, you know, dad, Tio, Papa, whatever,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, is that how that works?
Um, Not by design. Not really by design. Uh, I, st- I'm still pops here, believe it or not. So some of the
Or
guys
you have people who aren't even your kids calling you pops.
sometimes, yes. So they've almost become part of the family too, and I
Nice.
think that's been a great benefit too. Is those are not family members truly do feel like family members also as well,
Outstanding.
because we've kind of brought in that feeling and that environment of family, of of respect, love, but also hard work and good work ethic. um Thanksgiving dinners, they are different. They really are different. Obviously, I do come from a very large family, and Alex also has a very large family. So we are not the majority. Obviously, we're the minority when we're sitting around the Thanksgiving table. But it is the answer is Thanksgiving dinner becomes an extension of sometimes of those meetings. Sometimes Thanksgiving dinner is product development meeting, and
Okay.
we talk about things, and sometimes other family members kind of get involved too, and we hear
Oh,
from
that's
them.
good though.
So is
That's actually good because then you get input from people who, how, like sometimes there's a problem and you can be too close to it. And then you have somebody who's a different perspective and they're like, well, why don't you just do this? And then you look at them like, whoa, why didn't we think of that? So yeah, that's pretty, I like that. I love that actually.
Yeah.
So we got a couple comments. And if you guys are watching on Instagram, you can go ahead and put comments in there. I'll be able to see them. I just have to turn my head because Instagram's over there. But I'll be able to see them, and I'll make sure I pass them on to Carlos. So let's see here. We got another UK representative, my guy Matt from Tattoo Saying from the UK. He says, yo, USA. What's up, man? And let's see here. Iron Clinic said it's that your storage is the most well-built storage he's ever seen. And he's been in the game for several years, maybe a decade, maybe more than that. So that's high praise, I think. Matt says, I work with my dad during work hours. It's names only. Okay. All right. Now, another thing that I wanted to know after kind of like researching you guys is the average customer does research if they're interested in a product, right? Let's say they want to go buy a barbell. What they'll probably do is they'll watch reviews, maybe they'll go on Discord, check Facebook groups, whatever. And that's how they do product research, right? I watched 3 reviews on YouTube. I asked somebody in the Discord, all right, cool, yeah, I'll buy it, right? You came into this industry from a different industry, so you're seasoned as a business professional. You did market research through secret shopping,
right?
I think you said that you would add, you went so far as to add products to your cart on different websites to see how easy that process was. And then what I thought was really impressive is you went to your competitor websites and read their customer reviews.
Absolutely,
to see
yes.
what their customers were saying about them. So as I said, I think that's a strength of your background in companies outside the fitness industry. So what advice would you give consumers? I just told you how they normally shop. What advice would you give consumers to help them become smarter shoppers based on how you do research?
Well, I think everyone, whether you're a business owner or a consumer, you have to take advantage of the ongoing market research that is going on because of technology. Technology has allowed us to have access to information we didn't have access to before. There are products being reviewed on a regular basis, millions, of them. And I think that is happening whether you're buying or not, whether you own a business or not. There's market research going on. The question is, do you know what that is? And if you have a product that you're looking for, take advantage of that. Take advantage of the public, who often is the most honest in their review of their product, and go through them. Spend the time to really read and understand the reasoning behind why some people love a product, or why they don't love a product. Or a lot of times in the reviews, you can find really what people wish. You find the wish list right in those reviews. You get to see and find out what the public really is looking for. So we went live with our site in September of 2022. And but it wasn't until January of 23 that really we started to we went to market with pay marketing. And the months before that, that this is basically all I did. I was not just doing secret shopping by adding stuff to cart. I was actually buying items from companies and getting them shipped to my home. And I was seeing those products, and I was seeing how they're packaged, the products. I was seeing how they were handled. I was seeing how what did they do to go out of their way in their packaging, in their product, in their presentation to really win over their client. I was making phone calls. I was calling these companies, and I have real questions about the product that perhaps I just received or the product I was interested in. You also learn a lot from a customer, from a client, from a company when you connect with their customer service support. And how is it to get in touch with them? And that could be a challenge sometimes for a company, especially for a small company. But you learn a lot from them. And once you get into fun with them, the tone will tell you a lot. So to the consumers, I will take advantage of that. Take advantage of technology. There really isn't any excuse today to be well informed when you buy a product. I think you and I were having a conversation that people work so hard for their money. We all do, so hard for their money, and people should work that hard also before they spend the money to do some research to find out, am I getting the best out of this?
100%.
So.
Yeah, when we were talking, I said, and I've said this to other people too. I'm like, look, while I'm going to be honest with you about a product that I'm reviewing, you don't know me, and I don't know you. So, for example, we might be, I think I used the example of Tim from Gym Crafter. Tim is like 6'6". So if Tim watches a video and I say, oh, this is a great product, depending on what it is, he may get a bad impression of whether it's going to work for him because I'm 5'9". So then he won't know till he gets to his house. Oh, wait, I don't fit in this, but John said it was fine. So yeah, to me, it's like you're spending thousands of dollars in some cases to buy something that may be very difficult to return or exchange, and you're basing it off 1 or 2 or even 3 videos that somebody may have been paid to give you like a favorable impression of that product, right? So I just, to me, that's crazy. I would never. I told you I'd never do that. I might, if I it's not that I don't buy things online, but if it's a big purchase, I don't buy it unless I've seen it in person, because I need to know that it fits, that it's going to work for me. So we got a comment from Jared Martin. He said, I suggested a unique type of dumbbell storage shelf to Synergy maybe a couple of weeks ago, and he said, I'm hoping to see it on their product page one day. That goes to something that I've heard you guys talk about, where you are really, really open to collaborating on an ongoing basis with your customer base. Like, people reach out to you guys and you say, with ideas, and you're like, oh, okay, well, tell me more. Like, you don't just dismiss it out of hand. So since Jared mentioned that, without getting the specifics of what he's talking about, what is it? Do you ever feel like the tension between when somebody has some idea that they think is a great idea? I'm not saying this is the case with Jared, but somebody's got they think this is just the most awesome idea, but you look at it, you're like, as was the case with Alex, where he had the thing with the squat rack, and he's like, yeah, I know this is going to be great. And you're like, well, this probably isn't a good fit for our company. It might be a good idea. It's not necessarily a good idea for us. How do you guys manage that tension?
So, and thank you, Jared. And we not only appreciate, those messages, but we depend on those messages. We believe the best ideas to be found, the best improvements to be made, are in the brains of those using the equipment on a daily basis. The best resource a company can have for product development is not inside the company, it's outside. and it is the consumers. They are testing and using your product on a daily basis, and they will have, based on the usage of the product, usually the best idea. When we started the company and we started marketing in January of 23, we had 3 products, and we now are nearing 40. And the majority of those products have been ideas from people like Jared. Now the challenge becomes, is the resources. Can we really bring to life every single idea? And the question is, we want to, but all of those ideas have to go through a process. They have to make sense. They have to be cost effective. We have to have certain appeal in the market, that we can go through the process of developing this product and putting it to market, and enough people want it. So there's some research also that have to happen after that. Sometimes you have a really great idea that can work for a small group of people, and as a company, then you decide, is this the best place or product to invest our resources and time and money? And sometimes it is, sometimes it's not because of the idea, but because of all the things. So resources play a big part of it. So we have a line of products we're working on right now. So when a new idea comes, depending on the idea and the how much potential it will have in the market, it will either go to the top of the list or middle of the list, or sometimes goes bottom of the list, or sometimes it doesn't make the list. But that becomes the biggest challenge, is the resources. What do we do? Which one will be the best one to work on right now? But they do not go unheard, the ideas, and we do document all the ideas, and the idea is to get to all of those eventually, and eventually go to through the testing process to determine if we can go to market with that.
All right, so we have 2 questions. Apparently, Iron Clinic and Carp's Gym call each other on the phone to plan out their questions ahead of time, because they both asked the same thing. So I'll go with Iron Clinic because he was first. He said, Carlos, any plans to create a dumbbell cart or stand for products like the Rep X Pepin dumbbells or other adjustable dumbbells with the typical synergy, aesthetic, and build quality? And Carp said, with the rise of Pepin dumbbells and other adjustable dumbbells, have you considered making an adjustable dumbbell cart/stand? So there you go. Like I said, it's the same question, essentially the same question. So what's your response to
well, the adjustable dumbbells, especially with Rep and Pepin, are a big hot topic right now, and I know they're trending, and there's a lot going on, and there's some companies out there that are making some pretty amazing things. Like Black Widow is making an amazing product, and with Rep already having their product available, actually I believe it's in pre-sale again. It's hard not to jump on that wagon immediately and just make something right away, but that's not who we are. We have a list of 3 items that all of our products have to meet in order for us to go to market with the product. And that is, the product has to be space saving, it has to be multifunctional, and it has to be modular. So if we're going to make a solution for adjustable dumbbells, it has to meet all those 3, because this is the initial commitment from our company, is to come up with, to add enough value to our clients by having all these things: space saving, multifunctional, and modular, or expandable, so our clients will get the most out of their money. So having said that, the answer is yes, we have been working on something, and that something is about 98% completed already. We already have some renderings. In fact, in the next, I don't want to give it days, but in the very near future, short future, days, maybe, we'll probably will see something online already. And the reason we've taken a little longer is because it has to meet those things. Right. Can we make a storage solution for these type of dumbbells that will be all of this space saving And can it be multifunctional? So if the client wants it to do more than just store the adjustable dumbbells, can it do more? If they want to, can they add a bar storage to it? Can I also place storage to it? That means we have to offer multiple sizes, and it has to go. And then what happens with the clients that already own some of our products? Can this also be compatible with those items? It has to be. If we want to stay true to our beliefs and our mission, it has to be. It has to be modular. And what if the client tomorrow, you buy adjustable dumbbells and now you bought our storage solution, but then you decide you want to go back to traditional dumbbells? What do you do with what you already bought? Can you turn it into something that will be usable in your home gym? Yes, in our vision of developing the product, it has to be. It cannot now become a waste. Now you have to be able to get something out of it. So this solution that we're about to go live with, it meets all those criteria. Okay. So if you want a traditional, very looking storage solution, it look like that. If you want more out of it, it will have that too. So now, of course, it comes with a price, right?
Of course.
It comes with a price. If I'll let you in one of the features, if you just want the arms to fit your 3x3 upright, it will do that too. If you don't have a lot of space but you have an extra upright in your home gym and you just want arms to hold your adjustables, it will do that too.
Nice.
That's why we've been quiet about it, because we've been working on it. Okay. And so yeah, great questions. Thanks, BJ and Eric. That's a great question.
Since you already revealed the thing about the arms, why don't you just go ahead and show us the renderings? That's not the finished product. Look, there's just 1,153 of us here. All right, I'll meet you halfway. Everybody promise not to tell anybody if Carlos shows us the renderings. Okay, everybody promise. Okay, good. See, they promised. Go ahead. That's not gonna work for you.
No, you're very persuasive, man. I'll tell you what. What I can do is I can promise that we can have a follow up to this only on this product.
Okay. All right. Good enough.
Can we do that?
That's good enough.
We could do it. We can talk about it. We could do it soon, and we can do an unveiling. How about this? How about we do an unveiling on your show of this product before I go live in our site? We do an unveiling.
Okay, so when would that? Well, actually, we'll talk offline so we can say like when that would be, because you don't have. Okay, all right, there, y'all heard that. All right, so he promised we're gonna unveil it on this show. All right, there you go. Now I don't want to lose these comments. So BJ said, I love that answer. In my opinion, multifunctionality and versatility are the number one things that most home gym owners look for and in a product. And I agree with that. I don't like things that only do one thing. And Joey says, great perspective and approach. BJ said also agreed. So often you just have to get rid of something because you no longer have the specific item it's built for, which means increased costs for the upgrade you're pursuing. Joey said that's definitely an under-tapped market. Hey, Donnie, what's up, man? Don I need to get you back on the show, man. From Addicts Clubs and Maces. I actually recommended your clubs to someone who saw me doing some twists with them in a video on YouTube, and they wanted to know. So I gave them the link. So hopefully they reached out to you guys, because I know if they bought something from you, they'll be satisfied with your product quality. See, okay. And then Carp said all the color options that Synergy offers also have a really good chance to get them above somebody like Rep and some of the other companies that sell a cart. So that's another investment right there.
That's good. And people, I don't think people realize how difficult it is to offer that many colors.
You mentioned that's tough, like the colorways, because you can do it, but you how to do it without raising the price.
Correct. And there's no upcharge for colors right now. We don't charge wouldn't upcharge for that, but it is logistically speaking, because we make all of our products here in South Florida. We're about 10-15 minutes from Miami International Airport. and everything is in one location. Everything happens in one location. Our we all the raw material arrives here. We weld it, we cut it, we bend it, we do it all here.
Nice.
We powder coat it here ourselves. Everything happens here. So the logistics of offering 11 different products at the same price, it becomes it is challenging, a lot more challenging than we've expected it to be. But we realize how important it is to the consumer.
Right.
Consumer want to have an option. So every product that we come up with, we offer it on all 11 products. This new storage solution for the adjustable dumbbells is going to be available in 11 different colors. So, and we continue to get from clients, hey, could you please introduce more and more colors? Black Widow has done something with purple, but now everyone wants purple, man. And I know it's because of Dean. I know it's because of
definitely Dean. Let's blame Dean.
Yeah. Which looks good. So, that's something we're considering too.
Liberty Physical says, every time I think about adding some flair to the all black gym, synergy comes to mind. So there you go.
Thank you.
So let's talk about something that I think is pretty important, because I want to talk about how you guys are, like, obviously you can't tell me exactly what you're going to do. I mean, you can, but I wouldn't advise it. But you have a need to stay relevant and competitive in the industry when you know that copycats are out there. And the key criteria for them copying you is that your idea is innovative and profitable, because they don't copy bad ideas, right? But before we get into that, I want to ask you something that's related to that, right? So you guys went to HomeGymCon, and you had mentioned, and we talked earlier about how you did secret shopping as part of your market research, ordering products, getting it delivered to your house. So when you're at HomeGymCon and Titan Fitness employees come up to you and tell you that their CEO has ordered your product, and then another brand comes and says, hey, we want to buy some of your stuff and take it home with us.
Right.
Did that make you even a little bit suspicious, like on guard at all about their motives? Because, I mean, I'm just going to tell you, I've had a home gym since 2001. So I remember when Titan was even their logo originally was meant to make people think that they were Rogue Fitness. So with that sort of background in terms of copying, duplication, when they walk up to you and you find this out, what's like your gut initial reaction?
I was maybe I was being naive about it, but I was actually very flattered by it. I was pretty excited as a brand new company. So we went to HomeGymCon last year. Best decision ever as a business owner and consumer. To see everything in one place, to meet all the people we met. And then this was very, very early on when we went in there. We're not a very old company. We're a very young company, by the way. So to hear that from one of the employees in Titan, I was flattered. I really, maybe I was being naive at that moment, but I really wasn't thinking Titan is trying to copy our product. And I've always had some peace of mind when it came to that. And we have a couple of patents that we're working on pending. But I don't know really, one thing is to have a patent. The other one is to be able to defend a patent if someone infringes against it. But I believe
people don't realize how expensive that can be.
It's more expensive than the patent, and the patents are expensive. So I believe the best protection a company can have is, number one, is the consumer. Consumer can protect you. Okay. But they will only do that if you really, truly deliver the best product with the best service. And another thing is, and this has been since the beginning, our approach is we're not just selling a product. We're selling an ecosystem. We are building an ecosystem, John. We are in the process of continue to build. We started with 3 products. We're nearing 40 now. And most of these products all connect in one way with each other. They are supporting products to the product that our client bought. And that means a lot. I'll give you an example. One day I was in the shop. I was in the paint department. And I noticed one of the guys that works there that his job is just to, he is to prep the metal before it goes into the spraying booth. So he's there sanding down, polishing, and getting things ready to go. So it's a very entry level position. And I noticed the guy has a watch just like my watch. He's got the most recent, most expensive Apple watch. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how this guy and same band and everything. So I go and I compliment him on his watch. I'm like, that's a good taste, great watch. And he asked me this weird question. He's like, how much you pay for your watch? I'm like, why would you ask me that? Well, probably the same you pay for your watch. He's like, I pay $50 for my watch. Like, $50 for your watch? How is that possible? This is over $1,000. Well, about mine and Timu. Like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's not real. Look. And so he showed me, it looked just like the Apple Watch.
Right.
But when you press it, all it does, it gives you the time. There's no apps, there's no connectivity, right. There is no multifunction, there's nothing, there's no features to it. It's just, right. Just a look alike. So the funny thing is, we've already had a company who already made a look-alike of one of our products, one of our signature products.
Oh wow!
And you know who they are. I won't mention their name, but and the first reaction was like, "Oh my gosh, it's happening! They're copying our product." But then I realized it's not just the product; is the ecosystem.
Right.
If you just have one of our products, then you have that watch that all it does, it tells the time. You don't really have the smart watch. So if we build an ecosystem, if we have and we continue to add, and we continue to evolve and increase on the line, then we will add more and more and more value to our customers. I'll give you an example. We are going to introduce a couple of new products related to our horizontal racks at HomeGymCon. And it's going to be a great add-on to clients who bought our product 2 years ago.
Nice. Okay.
And so we continue to add value to those that have trusted us since the beginning and continue to trust our brand, that we are building more and more and more to add more value to what you already purchased.
So now I think you kind of already answered this, but when you said that your biggest protection is the consumer, actually, hold on a second. So my brother's on here. Good morning. Hey, I'm going to call you later. All right. I'm going to call you later. I got to tell you something. My brother's watching. Shout out to my family. So my mom watches every episode. My brother watches, awesome. As many episodes as he can. My wife is watching earlier before she had to start work. So yeah, I feel, so that goes back to the family thing. Like, I feel blessed that I know so many people are like, man, my family could care less about my YouTube videos or whatever. So I appreciate you guys being here and watching. Now, not related to me is Luke from Luke's Garage Gym. And he said, sup, Studs and Carlos. He said he's got your gear in the gym. It's awesome. He's making some content this month for you. And he said he is literally able to put 80% of his weight on your storage and it doesn't budge. It's an absolutely great product. He is excited to share it. All right. And then Jared says he's going to be at HomeGymCon helping vendors set up, and he looks forward to shaking your hand. I told you,
looking
celebrity.
To it.
They're going to be paparazzi in the bushes any day now. And then Joey said it was great to try Synergy's products in person at HomeGymCon, because he says you can't always show off the full level of quality in a reel or just a YouTube video. And then Don from Addicts says, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's a great comment from Jerry, because one of the things we get mostly from our clients is, I did not expect these boxes to be so heavy. I didn't expect this product to be so strong and so commercial built.
Right.
And that's great. We want that reaction from clients. We really, when it comes to building, people ask all the time, man, I think your product's a little pricey. I say, well, get it use it, see it, touch it, and then you tell me if it's worth it. And that's the reaction we get from people, is like, your product is well made. We do not cut corners. We do not compromise. Just on the sake for the sake of offering a cheap product. We don't want to compromise quality when it comes to this.
So Don said, as far as the patent thing, he said this is important. And he said patent defense insurance is a good option. So I said he makes so he's experienced this because he makes adjustable Indian clubs and maces. He's actually in Florida as well. I don't think he's in South Florida though, but he yeah. So that's something that he's experienced and had to fight back against. So most of your traction, man, I would say is based upon positive word of mouth, and especially given your background in other industries where you were paying for ads and all that kind of stuff, like you were telling me. How gratifying is it to you that most of your traction now is just from going to places like HomeGymCon or just interacting with people? Like, I found out about you guys because of Carp. So I saw his video on YouTube, saw something he had posted on Instagram about your racks, and I was like, oh, that's got my attention. I was like, okay. So then I started looking at it, looking at your racks. I said, oh, that actually is a cool product. So I would not have known. I wouldn't have even reached out to you, because I wouldn't have known you existed if I hadn't seen a video that Carp put out. And I was like, I trust his judgment. So when he says, hey, this is a good product, I want to know more about it. So that caused me. So how gratifying is it to you that you guys are growing the way you are because primarily of word of mouth?
That is the biggest compliment a business can have. I mean, ultimately, that is the biggest compliment. I mean, if there are any awards out there or anything that companies can get, the biggest should be the one that comes from the people. It is their comment. It is their review, their 5-star review, and it's not so much the 5 stars, but it is the comments behind those 5 stars. When you see when people are willing to talk about your product without any affiliate links or anything like that, just because they love your product so much, that is the biggest moment in the life of the business, when you realize you've got something special. But you have to continue to be committed to that idea. You have to continue to be committed to the support to those clients, or else everything goes away. This is not something that's given to you. Now you have and you own it. This is something that you have the responsibility to keep it, and you do so by continue to raise the bar and continue to offer great products, good customer support. And we look, there's room for improvement. Don't take me wrong. There is room for improvement. There are times where maybe we miss something. And but there's one thing I'll tell you 100% from Synergy Custom Fitness you will always get, is we back our products. We don't hesitate when it comes down to making things right. If we miss something, it's possible. We have people, humans, behind the scenes, doing the packaging and all of that. We are, and we always improving things. We're in the process of, let me take it back. One of the biggest compliments we get is our packing. Our guys, you should see our guys, the way they pack our stuff. They take so much pride in packing everything the best we can. We wish the shipping carriers will handle it the same way that we pack it, but sometimes that's not the case. They toss things around a lot, and when some of these things are heavy, there's a little scratch or bend or things like this. Hey man, we're right there. We'll make it okay. But we're in the process right now of redesigning all of our packing. And when you guys see the way we're going to pack stuff, it's going to feel like you're opening an iPhone on a big piece of equipment. That's how far we're going to protect the equipment, but also to enhance even more the experience of the client opening that brand new item that they just pay so much money for. And the least that we can offer them is they want to be able to receive a brand new product that not only is brand new, but it looks new, is still shiny, and there's no scratches or bend or anything like that, which is hard to achieve in our industry.
Let me ask you this, because you brought it up, and I heard you say this a couple other times in other places. Do you guys offer residential freight as an option for shipping? I know it's more expensive, but do you offer that as an option?
It is not currently online. There are some of the current orders right now. We are sending LTL to residential areas.
Okay.
Some companies were starting to do some of that.
Yeah, because I mean, UPS, and I will say this, I won't single out any carrier, because UPS, FedEx, they're all notorious. The post office, they're all notorious. All it takes is somebody who's in a hurry, running behind on his route or whatever, and suddenly your stuff is getting flung left and right. So let's see here. I want to talk about this. I watched your interview with Jake from Garage Gym Radio. He's going to be on right in the segment right after yours, where you, and I couldn't tell when I was watching the interview you guys did with him, but were you guys the ones who introduced him to the book Blue Ocean Strategy, or did he already know about it?
I think he already knew about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm asking about that because it's cool, because that's basically the approach that he's taking with HomeGymCon. So how, I know you guys are fans of HomeGymCon, but how awesome is it to find out about an event and then see that level of alignment in principles with entrepreneurs who are building brands that are adjacent to yours. So you're like, oh, like, it's almost like, hey, we found our people. We found our tribe. You know what I mean? Is that kind of how you felt?
It was the biggest, best decision of our company to have attended HomeGymCon last year. And I'll explain why. And I'm not trying to sell HomeGymCon. I really mean this. We were heading the wrong direction when it came down to working with influencers. Early on, we felt like what we needed to do was work with fitness influencers. And there are great fitness influencers out there. And there are many that are not so great. But the mindset of them, for the most part, not all of them, but for the most part, the mindset is different. It's a business, and people should have an opportunity to make money. I'm not taking that away whatsoever, but we will really focus on this kind of influencers. The more followers I have, the better. The more, and then we went to HomeGymCon. The first year we missed it because we were just a couple of months into this, and we really had no idea. On last year we went and we met so many great people there, and immediately saw a difference. So to your point, yes, it almost feels like these are the people we're meant to be with. These are the type of individuals that we are have been prepared to be with, and there is a level of, I don't know what you call it, because it's not even passion. It's even beyond that. There is a level of actual ownership and a level of pride in the home gym community when you talk to people like, even just like yourself, right? Like BJ from Iron Clinic, and there's so many team from Gene Crafter. There's so many of them to mention. Ashley the Amazing, Eric Carpenter. Again, there's so many. I'm gonna miss a bunch of them, but the way they think, the way they defend, the way they look out for the home gym it truly is a community. Yep. So, and I give thanks to
what's
Jake
funny is, so I hate to cut you off, but I don't want to lose this. I love the fact that you know everybody's name. You don't just know handles, you know their names. So you know BJ from Iron Clinic, you know Dean from Black Widow, and I feel like we may have talked about Dean. It's like that movie Candyman. You say his name too many times in the mirror, he appears. We said Dean and Dumbbell Storage Cart, and there he is. Now he's in the chat right here. Bam, says good morning, gentlemen. So we talked him up. But I just think that it's awesome that you know Ashley's name. You know people by name. If you see their faces, you're like, oh, I know you. You know what I mean? Because the reason why I like that is because it reinforces the impression I have of you that you guys are ultimately, you're not in the dumbbell storage business or the anything storage business. You're in the relationship business, and
Correct.
you provide solutions for people who you have relationships with.
Right.
And that's what comes across. Yeah, I said Candyman, Dean. But yeah, that's what comes across when I hear you talk, when I hear any of you guys talk. And I think that that's phenomenal. But go ahead. I just wanted to make sure I said that to you.
No, look, it is the people that make the biggest difference. Technology is great, tools are great, products are amazing, all of that are great. But at the end, if you take any of those out of the equation, it could be replaced. But people are essential. People bring value, and everyone is unique. So I really appreciate, and to everyone that's listening, if you're listening, I really appreciate it. I try to really do my best to take the time to, whenever we have someone new that we're going to work with, I want to talk to them. I want to get to know them. If we want to work together. We currently don't have an affiliate program, but we are working on one. But that is the key. None of these people that I've spoken to that have came to our that approached us, or we approached them, whichever one it was, most of them really was due to HomeGymCon.
Nice.
And none of them have led the conversation with, okay, so do you have an affiliate link? Because if I can get paid for promoting your product, I'm not talking about it. The contrast of that, the other group we were talking about prior to HomeGymCon, that was all the conversation was about. That's all they wanted to know. They just wanted to know how much.
Right.
And the conversations with in the home gym community is different. Is they want to know about the product. They want to learn about the product. They want to learn about the plans. They want to know if you're going to be here around for a long time, because they're not just looking for a product. They're looking for a relationship, a sort of partnership. So that's valuable, man. That's worth. That's valuable.
Home Gym Hub says he met you. There you go. Said he met you at HomeGymCon last year. It says you're an absolutely great guy. Only wants what's best for his company and the community. And Luke said you need people who actually use it to talk about it. Not somebody who just sees it for like the length of time it takes to do the video or whatever, right? Luke said he didn't hear you say his name, so we'll work on that.
You didn't hear me. Look, I did mention your name. Just go back. I did say, look. I said yes. When you made your comment, I said
I'll
thank
vouch
you,
for you,
Luke.
Carlos. I'll vouch for
But
you.
yeah, no, Luke is the greatest. I'm telling you, all these people. I was so afraid to mention names because there's so many great people, and then there's so many that we haven't even spoken to yet.
Yeah. Something that I think brands don't think about is that not only, we know each other too. So like I'm in a group, I'm in the same Facebook group with most of the people you just named. We have an ongoing Instagram group chat. We talk to each other on the phone. We text each other. We have text threads with each other. So it's funny when like somebody will, a company will send something and they're like, and I can see, that it's referring to somebody else who I know. And I'm like, like you may not want to do that because you don't understand that I know this person. Right. So, yeah, I love the fact that but again, that's because most of the time someone who has a surface interest doesn't attend HomeGymCon. They don't understand the vibe we have, I don't want to let you get out of here though, without talking about current events. So it's time for the tariff conversation. Your brand was born as a result of a crisis with the COVID lockdown. All right. That's where the ideas start to percolate, right? Well, we are currently facing what I would call a period of economic uncertainty because of tariffs. And most of the media coverage focuses, whether you're for or against tariffs, I think you can't deny that most of the media coverage focuses on the challenges that come with tariffs, But as a made in America business, what are the opportunities that you see because of tariffs, because they exist? What are the opportunities you see for business owners and for the consumer? Because everybody's focused on the negative, and I'm like, well, I'm an American, not Americans. So where is the, there's got to be every challenge, every obstacle also has an opportunity attached to it. So let's talk about that for a little bit before we wrap up.
Yeah, well, that is a touchy subject. One that wants so bad to push you to the political um, area, but it hasn't really affected. Well, it has affected everybody.
Yeah.
Whether you are going outsourcing overseas or you are making here in America, is affected some more than others, obviously.
Right.
Our decision early on to make our own products has been one that we still stand behind.
Sure.
We've learned a lot through this new crisis that we're going through. The biggest issue we've experienced really is the effect that it has had on the consumer. It has created an uncertainty of their spending habits. So consumers have kind of held back a little bit, kind of waiting, because so many companies have been affected by it. Our prices have not increased. Okay, we still retain our prices, but we've learned some interesting things. For example, we buy our powder from American companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we did get a price increase notice from one of these suppliers, these vendors. And I'm thinking, I thought you're an American made powder company, but some of the ingredients are not made here.
Right.
They
But I mean,
come
even
from,
like you go to the grocery
right?
store, some of the stuff from there isn't going to be, US. So it affects everybody.
It has affected all of us. Yes. We have seen, a little bit of a decline on that, but we have now seen it, taking a little bit up, starting to spike up again. But I really believe that this is going to end soon. I don't believe this is going to be too long term. Um, and we're ready and prepared to, you just continue to. Our focus has not changed when it comes to the tariffs. We have full trust and confidence in our leadership that this is going to be. This is this is going to bring great results to our country, to our manufacturing, and we're going to regain areas that we perhaps lost, and is only going to help us, especially a company like us. This will be great news. You fast forward now, and this is how maybe every problem needs to be seen in life, right? There is the immediate impact that you have, but then if you fast forward, if you think long term, would you want the result at the end? Most people say, well, yes, I do, but I just don't want to go through the pain right now. None of us do, but sometimes some pain is necessary.
So Joey has a question, but I want to and I'm going to ask it, but I want to tie it to the reason why I asked you what I just asked you. It's not because of what you think, or not because of what people watching may think. When I was watching your conversation with Jake, oh dang, I said Jake's name and he popped up backstage. And you said Ashley's name, and look at that right there, bam. All right. No, Ashley's always watching. Shout out, what's up, Ashley?
What's up, Ashley?
So the reason I asked you that is because when you were talking to Jake 6 months ago, you guys were talking about your in-house manufacturing, and I heard Alex say, and my ears perked up. He said, who knows, down the road something could happen, and that may be an opportunity for us to do what do you call it? It's not outsourcing, but white label stuff. So another brand may decide, hey, we're going to move our manufacturing of some products to you guys because you have in-house capability here in the States. That's actually why I asked that, to see, like, because it's like there are opportunities that may have arisen that may not have existed prior to that. And then what Joey wants to know is, have there been any changes to your domestic supply chains? Has there been an increase in the demand for, you just mentioned the thing with the overseas powder, but anything domestic, like demand and the price of steel, has that gone up? Anything like that?
We have seen an increase even in domestic steel.
Okay.
We have seen an increase in powder code. We have seen an increase in even in hardware, bolts and nuts and all of that. Even domestic, all those things have increased. Everyone sort of writes, these and almost joins the wagon and starts pumping prices up. And there are things there that you like, how is this possible? Why are you increasing if you're domestic? And then there's always something pointing to that one country. And we kind of eating all of that right now. We have not really made any increases. The only change we did make is our free shipping threshold went up, because we have to, but we still have, there's still free shipping available to most clients, but so yeah.
Okay. So we got, I hate to do this, but we got to wrap this up because we got another segment behind yours. So before I let you go, and we're going to have you come, Carlos is coming back. Okay. He's going to come back and we're going to continue the conversation. But before I let you go, let everybody know, if they don't know already, how they can reach out to you guys if they, number one, if they want to do business with you from like a business to business. Let's say they're on LinkedIn, they want to do business to business interactions with you. Or if they are an interested consumer and who may be looking at purchasing dumbbell or whatever kettlebell storage for their home gym. So let everyone know how they can reach Synergy Custom Fitness if they want to, learn more, for example. So go ahead and share that.
Yeah, of course, those socials, Synergy Custom Fitness, our website, our support email, support@synergycustomfitness.com is a good way to do it. If you want to talk to me, and I'm an open book, I'm always look to have conversations whenever possible. You can call our phone numbers on our website, and I'll tell you, my direct extension is 1100. You can just dial that extension. It'll go right to me. If you get my voicemail, leave me a voicemail. I go through my voicemails, and I'll call you back. We can have a conversation. If you have an idea about a product, let's talk about it. If you think we can improve in an area, I would love to talk about that stuff. So yes, and another thing I will add, which is a big ask, and we're in the process of it. A lot of people ask, when are you going to start selling dumbbells and plates and kettlebells? It's not something that we're really interested in doing and selling our own, but we are open to selling someone else's dumbbells and kettlebells and free weights. So we have a couple of meetings set up, but if you are a business owner and that's what you do, and you have kettlebells and plates and all this stuff, and you want to collaborate, and we can talk about it. And but we want to continue to focus on our product and what we make, but still offers those solutions to clients, even if that means working with someone who matches our kind of core values, and we can offer their products as well too. So if you're watching and you're interested, give me a call.
Awesome. So I appreciate you once again for being here. We're definitely going to have you back on again. And as the time passed really quickly, it's before I knew it, it was 8:04, and I had to let you go. So thank you so much for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life, and look forward to talking to you guys again at the next time with all of you. All right.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Thank you, John. I thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day, Carlos.
See you
Later.
soon.
All right, so that was Carlos from Synergy Custom Fitness. So real quick, I see Jake backstage, but I got to say this. It is 8 o'clock. Shout out to the Mountain Time Zone. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. If you're watching on LinkedIn, do me a favor. Go follow our LinkedIn show page, which is up way too early with Garage Gym Life, because I want to start. I need to hit we're very close to hitting the threshold so we can start streaming the show on the show page instead of on my personal LinkedIn. So I want to be able to shift everything. I would love to be able to do it by next Friday, to be able to stream on LinkedIn on the show page instead of on my personal page. So do me a favor, and if you have a LinkedIn profile, go and just follow the show page so we can make that happen. All right. And now it is time. Jake, you ready? All right. So it's time to bring on my next guest. Jake Jaworski is the founder and organizer of HomeGymCon. That is the premier event for the home gym community. Since it launched in 2023, the event has grown from 29 exhibitors to an expected 130 exhibitors this year from 9 countries, with over 10 times the exhibitor space filled from, compared to year one. So Jake has some exciting updates to share with us. So let's not bury the lead. Let's bring him on in here. Hey, Jake! Thanks for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life, dude. What's up, man? All right. So I cannot hear anything you're saying, so I'm going to read your lips and make up stuff. So Jake is saying how he's admired me for a long time from afar. All right. He said I should wait. So now I can't. I got to stop making up what he's saying. So Jake was also saying that he's got a poster of me that he's going to get Executive Fit to make, and it's going to be his power rack header. It's going to be me doing like that. No. Let's see. Let's try that again. Can't hear you. Let's see here. Yeah, nothing's coming through. Tell you what, let me see. Let's try something. Let me double check and make sure it's not on my end.
Test.
Oh, wait, okay, I can hear. I just heard you say test.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right, there we go.
Sorry
Problem
about that.
solved. All right, good deal. All right, let's see here. So, like I said,
oh yeah, the poster. You said poster, big poster.
Oh no, yeah. So
Yeah.
you, from what this may or may not be true, but I believe that your next power rack header is me doing the Rob Van Dam. That may not be. I don't know. It could happen anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted you to come on because we talked about it a little bit last week, but I think it's time for a HomeGymCon update because we're not that far away from the event. So let's start out. We're on LinkedIn. So for those who might not be familiar with HomeGymCon, as well as anybody who's watching on Instagram right now who may not know what it is, let's go ahead and give the elevator speech. What's the elevator speech you give people when they say, "What's HomeGymCon?"
Got it. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. This is exciting. HomeGymCon. I guess I don't really have a great elevator speech off the top of my head, but I would say it is a great event for anybody who is interested or has a home gym and wants to learn the best way to grow it and fill it. I think with that, it comes with a lot of other benefits that just came off of creating this event. There's a really strong community that has formed that was kind of already there, but has really connected on a deeper level because of the event. And then you have the opportunity to meet a lot of really great people behind the brands that are going to be there. So it is an annual get together for anybody within the home gym community. There's also, like John mentioned, there's probably going to be 120, 130 companies there this year, which is quite a bit larger than the last few years. It started off as, I don't want to say it was has been a success from the beginning, I would say. But what did start off as like a cute community event and is growing into more of like a well-established event that really can have an impact on your brand. If you're attending, you can get quite a bit of benefit out of it. And the digital exposure is something that, what has really come out of it for me is I think HomeGymCon, it's once a year. Everybody comes and they just bring their best, and it's an opportunity to showcase how amazing a home gym can be and how robust this community is. And it's an opportunity to help grow this entire industry. So that's kind of what that's more of an elevator pitch, but that's kind of what it's turning into. Yeah.
I mean, so a couple of things I want to emphasize. First of all, let's go with what Joey said. He said basically you hang with your home gym homies. For me, from the moment I first found out you were doing it, the first thing that popped in my head was, I come from, everybody, I've had a home gym since the early 2000s. So for me, the opportunity to actually be able to put my hands on equipment before I spend significant amounts of money on it is quite honestly invaluable. For me, it's, if you're thinking about buying a power rack, like we're looking at, a significant purchase of dumbbells, right? And rather than just go, just look online or watch reviews, my wife and I are going to go to HomeGymCon. I've actually already seen the dumbbells and had a chance to try them, but she hasn't. But she's going to get a chance to try them. They're the silverback dumbbells. I don't mind telling her. The silverback dumbbells from Fringe Sport. She's going to get to try them at HomeGymCon. And that's a lot of money. So the cost of traveling to HomeGymCon and being able to repeat that experience with brand after brand after brand that we're interested in is like the biggest money-saving thing in my mind ever. Because quite honestly, who buys a car without test driving it, right? And that's how I kind of look at home gym equipment. It's like in some cases, you're spending the equivalent of a car on this stuff. And I think that that's the biggest value. The second biggest value, or actually maybe equal to it, is you create relationships, whether you're a business owner or you're just somebody in the community who just enjoys hanging out with people who understand. We all tend to lean a little bit introverted. But it kind of stuck in my head when I think it was this past year that at the last HomeGymCon, Carp was at our dinner table and he said that his wife was like amazed that he was talking so much. She said, "You don't talk to anybody, but at HomeGymCon, we finally have people who actually care about what we want to talk about." And so it's like you walk in and bam, you're instant friends with 100 other people because they all get what you're talking about. And someone who doesn't understand the isolation that can easily happen when you're in a home gym isn't going to understand why that matters to us. And if you're a home gym owner who's never experienced it, you almost don't understand why you need it, if that makes sense, right? And like that picture that I just pulled up from the website, that looks like, it looks like any other trade show. You got booths, you got whatever, but that doesn't even come close to encompassing the vibe that you get. Like you get there, and I heard multiple people say they didn't want to leave. In fact, you see people afterwards hanging out because they don't want the weekend to end, and that's got to be a good feeling for you, because you work hard all year long to put this thing together, and then to have people not want it to end. How does that feel?
Oh my gosh, it's the best. Yeah, you're hitting me. It's really a great feeling. And I would also say like seeing people come together at the beginning is also really cool. They haven't seen each other for a year. Maybe they've talked on the phone or they've talked online throughout the year. And it's really cool to just see from afar, like two either two companies seeing each other for the first time in a while, or two company heads seeing each other for a while, or people walking in the first time. And yeah, I think it's just it's really cool to see that kind of stuff occur, and it's the most memorable stuff for me. And it's something that I want to like continue to work on, making easier each year.
I think so I had two memories from year one and from year two that are similar to me, right? So from year one, what's his name? Is like the world's strongest psychologist. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name, his actual name. But anyway, so he was deadlifting, and he deadlifted like I think 400 for like 50 reps or something like that. Because Tyler, it's funny. I'm watching Tyler take a like ammonia, like his glasses popped off while he's deadlifting, and Tyler caught the glasses.
Yeah,
they were, what I'm talking about now.
It's
like,
Hogan. Yeah, Hogan.
Yeah, Hogan Gagel.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, man. Sorry, Hogan. Anyway, but I didn't know who that was. But I went and looked him up after that, and I had to speak to him like, man, that was awesome afterwards, right? And then the following year, I see Andrew from Heinous Strength, and he's judging the strongman throwdown. Somebody ends up being the final competitor in the sandbag over the bar, right? Andrew's judging, but he says, well, I don't want you to be the only one going, so I'll just go with you. He didn't have to do that. But those are the two things that kind of like encompass to me what HomeGymCon is, because the first one was just the deadlift party. It was kind of like, it wasn't a competition. Just a bunch of people say, hey, let's just go and deadlift. We had like the Red Power Ranger pull 700 pounds, but then you had Hogan also get a rep PR because Tyler and everybody else was pulling behind, yelling behind him. I think Kat from AdMat hit, I don't know if it's a PR, but she hit like 25 reps with 225 or something like that. Everybody's like losing their minds cheering. There's no trophy, medal, anything involved. Only people who will know about this are the other people at HomeGymCon. But it mattered. And then the thing I just mentioned with Andrew Heinous, nobody really would have noticed that, except I happened to be there because I was recording it. And so I saw it, and I was like, the only people who know that this happened are Andrew, the competitor who was going, and I guess me. But it mattered, right? And so those are things that I think make it special, because I've been to the Arnold. You and I were both at HFA in Vegas, and the vibe is, we even talked about it. The vibe is just different at HomeGymCon compared to, I can't even call it similar events, because they're similar in the sense that a Chevrolet and a Mercedes are both cars, but HomeGymCon it stands apart. It just stands apart. Kurt says he doesn't remember the lift. So fortunately for you, I've got the entire video of the deadlift party on my YouTube channel. So if you just go back and check it out, and I even put the link to it in the description for this video on YouTube. So you guys can go back. Everybody who's watching right now can go check it out. You'll see Hogan putting in that work.
That came up on one of my feeds the other day, and
nice.
Maybe like a month ago or so, and I looked at it, and it has a good amount of views.
I think it's one of those things that's what I actually like about YouTube, is like the videos just keep on building. So like, 10 years from now, it'll be like this astronomical number of views, which is just good because then people will say, hey, well, what's HomeGymCon? What is this? Where was this? You know what I mean? And so I do love that. But like I said, I think there's the community vibe, but then Don from Addicts is on here, and I remember him saying that HomeGymCon is much better than URSA, which is now HFA. He likes it better than every other trade show they've done. Even I think he's been to Europe as well to trade shows. And I've heard multiple business owners say they were sold on the concept after seeing how engaged the community is and how much useful feedback they were able to get. They attended, they got this useful feedback. Plus, they were able to get sales in just 2 days. They not only got sales, but more importantly, they got tons of useful, actionable feedback from informed consumers, which you won't get at any other trade show. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to ask you about knurling and other things at other trade shows. So is that why you think the event's growing so fast?
I just think like you were discussing with Carlos in the conversation before, it's really just grown organically. And I would say the return rate of the people that were there from year 1 to year 2 and then year 3 again as well has also been pretty high, it seems like. And then the same with the vendors. So basically a lot of people, you know, they have such a good time that they sign up they sign right back up, and then they spread the word. I don't think there's a lot of like, you know, ads that really do much for the event. It has all been just like word of mouth. Like even most of the new vendors, it was clear like they, you know, maybe somebody else told them about it. And it was it's you know, I've said this before on some podcasts, but I send around like thousands and thousands of cold emails a year, and they haven't been that successful. It really is like, and I get it. Like I get a lot of emails sales emails that I just completely ignore as well. But it really is like if I do send an email to somebody and they respond, it's because, oh, I've heard good things. Right. So I think the growth has really just been organic. It's I think and I would put that on the community aspect of it as like the number one driver for the first few years. And then like hearing people say that it did benefit sales was huge. It was a really good sign that this could work in the future, because there's only so many times that you can go to an event and not make your ROI. Right. So I think that, but I do think just general word of mouth has been the number one driver of the growth. And also just like, you know, if we're going to use marketing terms, social organic, organic social has been the key driver.
Oh yeah, because people are gonna post videos like, hey,
they post videos, and there's been millions and millions of impressions. Yeah.
So Home Gym Hub says, hey, and by the way, thanks for being on here, man. Shout out to you. He's got his brackets going right now, so everybody make sure you go to Instagram and support Home Gym Hub. Vote for your favorite gyms. But he said it's invaluable too to meet the guys behind the companies. As a consumer, you meet the guys behind the companies like Carlos, and that helps you also make a decision about who you want to support. Because in some cases, like I'm going to use power racks, there are a lot of racks that are kind of similar. You're like, okay, well, what's, you know, the differences are like, you're kind of like getting down into the nitty gritty about what's different about this rack versus this one. And a lot of times I think it comes down to, well, who do I know, like, and trust, you know? And so I think HomeGymCon is, again, a great way to echo what Home Gym Hub is saying. It's a great way to meet people and see if you want to, you know, hey, do I want to send them my money, you know? Joey said, I keep bringing up HomeGymCon whenever people ask about trying or comparing different pieces of equipment in the Facebook group. Let's see here. We have okay, don't do it now, but if you're watching, especially if you're watching on Instagram, shout out to everybody. I see Andy Pandy join. Shout out to Bremy. And Sup Talk Radio. What's up? Thanks for joining on Instagram. But if you're watching on Instagram, go to Home Gym Hub and vote for Joey Echeverria, because apparently he's down by 4 votes. There's only 12 hours left. This is starting to get real, okay? Joey needs a surge, so Go support Joey.
Hey, real quick, going back to just hearing comments too, like Carlos earlier, and you mentioned Donnie had really strong words about the event.
Oh, yeah.
Going into last year and just being in like the kind of startup phase and winging it, like you're really nervous for the first year. The first year's
I could tell when I saw you rocking when you were standing there. I was like, yeah.
I mean, you're just nervous that you don't want them to leave like, oh, that was a waste of time.
Yeah.
You really want them to enjoy the experience. So like hearing that feedback, I'm sure they're holding back some negative feedback in some way. But to hear that in general, it was worth it. And for them to, put public words out saying like, that they had a great time. It helped sales. It was invaluable to us. Like that means the world. And, just having them sign up right back away is really cool and very helpful too.
So Kevin from Home Gym Gains, he's based in Japan. So he says, hello from the land of sushi. Says HomeGymCon sounds amazing. And I hope it inspires Japan to do the same. Congrats on the growth, Jake. I got one better. I want you to go to HomeGymCon. I want you to save your coins because I don't want it to, I don't want this to impact the rest. First of all, I don't want your wife to kill you if you spend the grocery money on HomeGymCon tickets and airplane tickets. But I think this is the sort of event that 5-6 years from now, you're going to see not just exhibitors, not just brands coming to be exhibitors, but I think that you're going to start having people from other countries wanting to come. Just like we look at FIBO and say, man, I want to go to FIBO. I think we're going to start having people come here because they just want to have it's going to become a bucket list event. I really believe that.
I do think, I think with, if you're counting vendors, I think all 50 states are represented now. And,
nice.
There are some ticket purchasers from out of the country as well, which is cool.
So that is dope because, okay, so let's hit this. So Jason McKinney says, HomeGymCon is more about passion than profits. At least that's how it feels right now. The other shows feel more like a group of advertisers, not enthusiasts. And I'll say too that, like the Arnold, I'll just go ahead and, let the Arnold catch some shrapnel. At the Arnold, it's like they're pushing. Let's say you're not even ready. Like, let's say I'm not even interested in a pre-workout, right? Every 5 steps, somebody's handing you a shot, or not a shot glass, but it's because it's plastic. But you know what I'm saying? Somebody's handing you a little cup of pre-workout. If you accept all of that, your nervous system is fried for the next 2 weeks because they're just they're pushing it in your face. Hey, try this, try that. And everybody's trying to hand you a bag of something. So you end up like, I literally, when I go, I haven't been since 2019, but when I would go to Arnold, we would take an empty backpack, right? And the strategy we had was, okay, we're going to go buy whatever we want to buy, accept whatever things we want to get, put it in our backpacks, take it back to the hotel room, and then leave the backpacks there and just turn down everything else. Because otherwise, you're trying to make it through this crowd. It's uncomfortable. It's crowded. And you got these bags you're walking in with. That's not fun. HomeGymCon feels so much more, not just it's relaxed, comfortable, but also everywhere I look, there are real conversations I want to be a part of, as opposed to people just trying to push stuff on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And honestly, yeah, Jason, I think the passion is the reason that it's I don't want to say it leads to profits, but it does. I truly think the brands who are not going this year are losing out. Like truly 100%. It's why I don't have an issue with sending them 20 different emails throughout the year saying, hey, I think you should be here. I think, it's not just about the event. I think it gives you an advantage over everyone else for the next year. I think you get the feedback directly from the consumer. You form a relationship with them. It's an opportunity to gain lifelong customers. I think there's a lot of benefits that goes into HomeGymCon. And I think for a lot of brands, they've made mistakes going to other trade shows instead of HomeGymCon.
Right.
And I will say, like, the companies that have signed up in the early years, I think I am committed to giving them benefits for as long as I'm running this thing. So I just wanted to, not that I have any issues with statements like that, but I do think it really is turning into like an actual really good thing for your business. It's not just like we're taking a chance on going to this event. I think
yeah. I mean, as much as I understand what he's saying is like, it's not like you go to these other places. It's kind of like I said, it feels like they're just trying to push stuff on you whether you want it or not. Whereas HomeGymCon feels like they're there to build a relationship with you and show you how whatever they have can benefit you. And at the same time, they're also ready to listen to you. If you say, well, this is not for me, and these are the reasons why, they're willing to take, it feels like they're willing to take that feedback, turn it around, and improve their product, right? That's what I like about it. Next week's guest has arrived. She said, Kinsey said, just got my tickets to HomeGymCon and plane tickets. Let's go. Hey, I'm looking for it. All right, so basically, you got to sit at the table with me and my wife, Kinsey. And I'm just letting you know, you got to so I hope you got tickets to the VIP dinner, because you got to sit. Number one, you got to come say hello when you see me walking by. And number two, if you're at the VIP dinner, you got to sit at our table. You don't have a choice. Joey, same thing. You got to sit at my table.
So John, there is no VIP dinner this year. It's just it's a social hour. It's like 6:30 to 8:30.
Okay.
There will be appetizers.
Yeah, because I was about to ask you next. Is there going to be food?
There's going to be appetizers and an open bar. For anybody, I know you don't drink, but it's still a really good time.
All right.
But as far as logistics, it was too much. It was too much not knowing how many people were going to be there.
Okay, I got you.
And also just trying to keep like the VIP cost down. But if people are like, we need a dinner. You guys let me know, but there's a 2-hour social hour. I don't know the best word to call it, but
so can we bring food to the social hour? Because here's what I'm saying.
I think you're going to have to plan your eating. So I do have let me just say a few things.
Yeah, let's go ahead, because you got my full attention now.
Okay.
Because we're going to be there all day. That's what I'm looking at. I'm going to be there all day.
You're going to be there all day.
Have food available though, right?
We will have food. It's not going to be like last year. So there will probably be 3 food stations scattered around.
Okay.
That within the exhibition hall that you can go get food. So we'll have there'll be like barbecue. There's going to be acai bowls and one other, either tacos or
there you go.
Bowls.
All right.
So
there you go. Now you're on the path of righteousness again.
So yeah, there's no dinner, but you can leave at 5:30, go grab quick food, and then go to the social hour. You can eat late. So there's going to be a little bit of planning around the VIP event.
Grandpa doesn't stay up.
But you could also eat. You can eat there real quick and still make it.
All right. So Kinsey, since Jake just ruined my plans, Joey, Kinsey, meet me at the taco truck, at the taco station. All right. Meet me at the taco station at HomeGymCon. We'll work out something. We'll work it. We're unstoppable. Okay. I'm an American. We put somebody on the moon for no reason. We'll make it happen. Whoa. Let's stop right there. Hey, Jared, I hope you're all right, man. He said he messed up his pec on his first chest exercise today. So we have a lot of people who are working out while they watch the show. This is our first injury. So I hope you're okay, Jared. Dang, dude. I hate that. Like I said, I hope you're all right. Ice up, rest up, and I hope you feel better, man. Well, and actually that shows one of the differences right there, because I first met Jared in person at HomeGymCon. So like we kind of like interrupted the conversation to talk about that, but that's the sort of community that the home gym community is. So if you're watching this on LinkedIn and you're like, hey, I want how do I sell to these people? How do I get these people interested in my products? You got to become part of our community, and that's just how we are. So let's see here. Make sure now going back to the topic about where exhibitors are coming from. Last year you had a brand from Germany, ATX Fitness, and I would say I think that they were the exhibitor that traveled the furthest, and they were an instant hit. Okay. This year I think the honor of furthest travel will go to Gentleman Fitness Club, because they're coming from Japan. Or do you have somebody who's from further away than that? Let's go to the vendor list.
I would have to look at the map and map it out. But yeah, I think it would probably be
Japan's pretty
Gentleman
far.
Fitness. Yeah. There's also people coming from China.
Okay.
There's also
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There's also there's the UK, Germany, like you mentioned.
Yes.
So I would probably Japan though, or the China people coming from China.
I guess it depends on where you like. If you're going from Hawaii to Japan, I guess it's not that far, but I'm not in Hawaii, so it's far. All right. So let's go back to the other thing. I know you said that you sent out thousands of emails, but I want to know, I mean, are you sending emails to Japan? Like, how did Gentleman Fitness Club find out about HomeGymCon? For that matter, how did ATX find out about HomeGymCon?
Gentleman Fitness, I have no idea how they found out, but they reached out to me. I'm not sending company emails to companies from Japan or China or anywhere like that. I did reach out to some of the more prominent ones in Europe.
Yeah.
It'd be great to get somebody like Watson or
Sure.
Primal was really considering it. But they decided not to, because they have like a US distribution.
Right.
So it makes it easier for companies like that. But ATX, they just randomly reached out.
That's interesting.
And I was like, yes. No, it was really cool that they randomly reached out. I didn't reach out to them.
Sweet.
I don't exactly know how they found it. It was probably from a YouTube video or something like that. They follow like a lot of these accounts follow Garage Gym Experiment. So I think that's definitely been like a way to shoot this up or get the word out. Gotcha. So it's nice it was valuable. It's valuable having an audience like that to begin with.
Cool.
But I don't know. A lot of the other companies that coming from overseas, they reached out, which is great. Yeah.
Now Watson actually has a US distributor as well, so I wonder if they'd be willing to come out for them to. Well, it may be too late in the year, and I don't know what they have going on, but I would like it, kind of like what Peter Keller did, like where he visited first year he just came as an attendee, and then after that he started coming. Fringe Sport had a presence, so I think that there's value in that as well. So we already talked about that. So let's talk about signups because I think this is important. Last week I echoed Mike's sentiments from your Neural News episode. I think the episode aired like 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure, but I was encouraging people. Look, you need to book your hotel rooms now. And the advantage to you, I'm saying it again, the advantage to you if you're out there to booking your hotel room now. Number one, you don't have to pay for the room in advance. You just need to reserve it. But that's how you can guarantee that you get the kind of room you want. So if you want double queen, maybe you and somebody that you are not in a relationship with want to share a room. Well, unless you want to be the big spoon to your buddy, you might want to try to get the queen, the double queen, right? And the only way to guarantee that is to reserve a room while they're still available. But from your perspective as the organizer, there are benefits going forward. if people reserve their rooms earlier. So talk about that, because I know we want people to sign up to get tickets and all that, but I feel like there are people who've gotten tickets and who may not have reserved a room, although I don't understand that. And then there are people who are kind of on the fence, like they're not sure if they're going to go or not. And I'm like, reserve your room even if you haven't gotten a ticket yet, because it costs you nothing. You always just cancel the reservation if you end up not going. So go ahead and talk about like from your perspective, what's the importance of, you know, locking at least your room down as early as possible?
Yeah, I'll give it to you from my perspective first, just a little behind the scenes. So, you know, it's very tough to you have to reserve a room block, and you have to give like past years numbers, like hotel numbers. So I had to you have to really at least try and show the potential of this event to get, you know, the space in the convention center and room rates. So we have I chose this number like a year ago, and it's and you have all the way until May 15th to fill this number. However, it's also like your first impression upon a new and also bigger city. So it's my job to get as many people to sign up as early as possible to this room block. And it's really hard to do that without just like begging people, you know, because they don't really have too much of an incentive other than like, oh, maybe the queen rooms go away. Like, oh, all right, I'll just wait till May 14th to sign up. But it's from my end, it's a really tough explanation to be like, hey, I promise people are going to sign up. And also, if I don't hit the room number, I still have to pay those rooms based off of the contract. And like the gap between the amount of rooms filled versus those in question would like end this event in total. They would bankrupt the company as of right now. So
Like that.
so yes, so like that's why it's like, hey, book your rooms, but you also don't want to sound too desperate. It's also not a number that should be difficult. So if you you know, add up the amount of 2-day ticket purchasers, say there's 2-person per vendor, it would be double the room block.
Yeah.
So
That's what I'm
it's
saying. Like they've got their
shouldn't-
tickets. Like, don't you want somewhere to sleep?
Yes. So yeah. And honestly, the part of it's on me for like, you know, not emphasizing it throughout the year, maybe sending personal emails to say, hey, please do your room block. But you know, leading into what you were saying, it does make it difficult to plan the next year's event when it looks like you're not going to fill your room block. So please sign up for your rooms if you can. So that's just a little behind the scenes. I have no doubt we're going to hit the number, but please. And also here's another little story. So
there we go. Nice stories. Go ahead.
So year one, French Lick, you know, it was totally like winging the numbers. Had no idea. Again, you have to choose a number to go with the amount of rooms, and you have to like guarantee it. Because if you guess too low, then like the discount goes away. People have to sign up without the discount. Also, there's not a guarantee that there's going to be space if the rest of it sells out anyways. So really getting a room block is important for stuff like this. But did not hit that number for year one of HomeGymCon. And it was going to be like a $20,000 fine. However, they said, if you do it again in French Lick, we'll waive it. And that is one of the primary reasons we did it in French Lick for year 2 as well.
Now, I'll say this too. So I actually have an idea. Well, you know what? I'll say it now. I had an idea for, because we all like, I never thought I would say this sentence prior to going, but I'm going to miss French Lick. I really enjoyed it. I've got memories like from even to like taking my daughter down to the arcade and seeing her and playing video games with her in the arcade downstairs. And that's got nothing to do with Home Gym Con, but it's where we were, right? To seeing her running around and playing with other kids during Home Gym Con, because it's a child-friendly event, and you just see everybody, like kids who, how kids are, like they just met but they're best friends, and they're all just running around playing on the swing sesh equipment. And it's like those things there, because everything was in that one hotel. It was like, the hotel had the resort. It's a resort, so they had to provide everything. So you didn't really leave, everybody stayed together. So I feel like, we all miss, everybody who went the first 2 years is going to miss French Lick. I'm like, we need a patch. Say like, what's the thing, like Sons of Anarchy, or like Home Gym Con French Lick original. Let's make that happen.
That'd be cool.
But let's move, but we're moving forward. So we have a bunch of things that are coming to this year's Home Gym Con. So let's talk about, for example, the competitions. Real quick, kind of give us like a kind of a quick breakdown of what they are. And then if you have any corporate sponsors who are involved and you want to shout them out, that's, go ahead and talk about that. And also, is it still possible to become a sponsor to get involved if you're if you're a brand?
Yeah. So competitions are going to be awesome. I just want to give a quick shout out to all the group directors. They work really hard, and they all do a very good job, and they take it very seriously. But this year we're going from 3 to 7 competitions. They are kind of scattered throughout. So we have one in each corner pretty much, and then something in the middle. Some are 2 days, some are 1 days, but we have strongman, Olympic weightlifting, hybrid competition, grip, savage strength games, which is like a sandbag, kettlebell bag, USA push pull. So that is one that has been recently added.
Oh, that's dope. USAWA. Oh, nice.
Yes. I should put you
all around weightlifting. Heck yeah.
You would also be a good guy to chat with. I have so Clint Poor, I think.
Okay.
He sounds like he's a very animated, sounds like a great guy. You guys should probably get in touch. But yeah, they're from Kentucky, reached out about a month ago. I was like, is there any way we can get in there? It's like, we might. We're kind of tapped out on like cash prizes and etc. But we'd love to find you some space. So they're gonna have something. It sounds like a really entertaining, a lot of really strong guys doing some relatively unique stuff, and then also a powerlifting meet. So I think we're probably over 150 athletes combined. Okay. There's still, I think you'll probably still be able to sign up for competitions all the way until probably the week of. We have one of the ways to kind of support the athletes from a vendor perspective is by just donating anything to the prize pool. That usually comes in towards the end, so you have these huge prize pools. It's a way for the companies to support the athletes and also not have to take something home. So
nice. Okay.
There's also a lot of 7 competitions. That's a lot of equipment. So there's a lot of equipment sponsors. There's people like Weighted Out donating a ton of weights or like making a ton of weights. Black Widow, JD Gym Equipped, homegrown lifting is a premier sponsor, is a title sponsor for the hybrid. Bear Steel Equipment, they're a sponsor for the strongman. Also bringing in Nick Best, who's a professional strongman, one of the strongest men of all time, who will be there.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. The Olympic weightlifting will be a 2-day event, have some high level athletes as well. So like we're still in the early stages of building out these events year after year. And we did, just so happened to do the event as like do HomeGymCon during the same week as one of the main strongman lifting events of the year, nationals, and then also same for Olympic weightlifting. So I think if we can get away from that, there is potential for us to really get some high level athletes into these events, which would be really cool for attendees to watch.
Yeah.
Especially with prize pools like this, that, if we get this is just the beginning, I think. So year after year, we're going to continue to build off this, and, have some really strong partners. Again, the group directors who, they have a lot of weight within their communities, and I think they also see the potential in these competitions as well. So a lot of work goes into these though. And, it's cool. And it's also just a good opportunity for somebody who wants to go to a convention like this, but also do a little bit more as well.
So I'm noticing that Rich Fit is like one of the sponsors for just about every competition, giving out gift cards.
Yes. So I should give some quick shout outs. Like I said, there's a lot of companies donating equipment, but there's also some really great prizes already. So RitFit is sponsor or is giving 32 $500 gift cards.
Good God.
Yeah. So that's $16,000 worth of gift cards. Major Fitness is donating basically their entire booth, or at least their primary pieces, which is awesome as well. Executive Fit donating something to each one.
Nice.
Just about. We have title sponsors. Yeah. So again, a lot of the prizes don't come until people know exactly what they're bringing to their booths.
Sure.
But I mean, the prize to competitor ratio will likely be really high.
I mean, that's cool. But so just to be clear, is there still room for any corporate sponsors who want to get involved?
Yeah. I mean, we have title sponsor, title sponsor opportunities. And also there's incentives. There are incentives for companies to donate big or small to the prize pools.
All right. And anybody who's interested, I know that I think there was so Joey said, I think there'll be some last minute signers for a lot of the competitions. And he said last year the grip competition got huge. Eric said they're at 19 so far for the group competition. So anybody, the link for HomeGymCon is going to be in the description for this video, but you can go to HomeGymCon.com, and that's where you'll see all the stuff that Jake is talking about. I keep pulling up sharing my screen to show that. You can check out what the competitions are. Also, you'll be able to look at the list of vendors and what they're going to have for sale at booths, and you've got a section where you can kind of facilitate buying products. So like PRX is on the list, for example. So you can reach out to them to discuss potential pre-purchases. They got a list of everything, Weighted Out, Executive Fit, Power Block. So this way they can make stuff or bring stuff because they are bringing it specifically to you, that you already paid for it, and you'll be able to, kind of avoid shipping because, they'll bring it right to you, and then you can just, however you're getting it home or whatever. I know that Peter Keller, in fact, said, he was like, hey, look, you just need to rent a U-Haul because, there's going to be stuff that you're going to want to buy and, and take back home with you. So there's that. So just to go back to what I was saying, everybody basically just visit HomeGymCon.com and you'll see the links to all the stuff I just said. Couple of things I want to say before I let you go. And that is, this is probably the most appropriate place to once again reiterate that we're going to be live from HomeGymCon. This show will be live. We're going to have a live in-person audience. I know we will, because we got people who've already signed up, and we want everybody who's watching, who's in the comments right now, to be a part of that audience. But I need people to, again, that's why I said I feel your pain. I need to get people to go sign up on the Sign Up Genius link, because I'm bringing stuff. We're going to be raffling off gifts. So far, I've confirmed that Homegrown Lifting, Gorilla Strength, Micro Gains, Porter Phys Ed Fitness, and Synergy Custom Fitness will be my guests. They will all have giveaway items to raffle off. Those giveaway items are only for people who are there during the show. So once the show's over, if there's any giveaway items left over, I'm just going to give it back to the brand. They can take it back to their booth and sell it for whatever they're selling stuff for that day. So if you want to be there, if you want to be eligible for the free giveaway, you need to be in the audience at the show in person that day. I love the online audience, but this is just my way of, number one, promoting HomeGymCon because I believe in it, and also to reward people who make the effort to physically get up and come downstairs to be at the live show with me. And yes, we are going to, by popular demand, we're going to end the show in time for everybody to be able to go downstairs, especially if they win something, they're going to want to take it back to their room. So this, they'll be able to, well, I keep saying downstairs because I'm thinking French Lick, but I don't know if the room I'll be in will be downstairs or whatever, but you have time to get back to your room to put anything away and then go to the expo room. Next question. So now that public service announcement is over. And we talked about sponsors for the competitions. I know the last day to guarantee a spot was yesterday, but do you still have room for exhibitors if a brand wants to just sign up to come? They're like, hey, we were hearing about this for the first time. We want to still come to HomeGymCon. We want to make it 131 brands. Do you still have floor space?
Yeah, we definitely still have floor space, and probably I'm going to try and be as flexible as possible and at least leave it open for a few more weeks. It sounds like our floor plan is already approved, and we should have some open spots for people to join if they want to. And there's also been some a decent amount of people dropping slowly. So yeah, there'll be spots.
Awesome. All right. So last one from me. Tell everybody watching. You dang right, Jameson. No out angling me, and your arms can't look bigger than mine. Baggy t-shirts will be provided. I'm talking to you. All right. I'm looking at you. But yes. So tell everybody watching as we wrap up where they can go to keep up with the latest HomeGymCon updates and to get tickets.
Yeah, just homegymcon.com. There's a link for a newsletter as well that I'll send more often. And then also just follow on Instagram. Usually a lot of updates are sent on Instagram as well.
All right, so there you go. Follow HomeGymCon on Instagram, visit homegymcon.com, and you will be all hooked up. Well, once again, I cannot believe that we've basically spent an hour talking. So time flies. But that's just like when we talk to each other on the phone. So that's it too.
You were saying earlier there, you get on the phone with people in the home gym space and just keeps going.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm not even a talker.
I know. I mean, it's like, but we're just like, man, because again, it's like you got somebody to talk to who understands what you're trying to say, so it's awesome. But yeah, man, once again, as always, thank you for coming on here and sharing your information with us. And you have an open invite, anytime, spur of the moment, you're always welcome as a guest.
All right.
If I don't see you on the show, I will see you in Louisville in
8 weeks.
Now?
8 weeks.
Nice. All right, my man.
All right.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you.
All right, man. Later.
All right. Bye.
All right. So that was Jake Jaworski, founder, organizer of HomeGymCon. You guys want to make sure that you are following him on Instagram at HomeGymCon. Go ahead and subscribe to Jake on YouTube at Garage Gym Radio. He's got a really cool network of people who are putting out great content. You guys make sure you get up in the mornings on, I believe it's Tuesday mornings, and check out his live morning show, the Neural News live show. So go ahead and check that out. And now it is close enough to 9 o'clock that I'm going to go ahead and call it 9 o'clock because I think we're 30 seconds away from it. So we're starting the third hour of the show, and we're going to do that by saying shout out to the West Coast. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. We've had a great show. So if you're watching on replay, make sure that you rewind. Make sure you watch the entire thing. Got tons of cool information. My guests were Carlos from Synergy Custom Fitness. Jake was from HomeGymCon was just on, and now we're about to welcome my final guest of the day, Ari Kimmelfeld. I really, really hope I said his name correctly, but I'm about to find out in a few minutes because he is backstage looking at me right now. He hasn't even blinked one time since I started pronouncing his name, so I may be in trouble. Ari has been featured in TechCrunch and the New York Post for creating an efficient way for Peloton owners to sell their gently used bikes and rowers along with other products. And he's also making it possible for people who want a Peloton to get one without having to pay the price for a brand new unit. I have a ton of questions, so I'm glad to have him on with us today. So everybody, this is our final guest of the day. Give a warm welcome to Ari.
Hey, John. This is great.
Is this the first show you've been on where they played theme song music for you?
Hell yeah.
All right.
That's great.
Welcome.
Love the
right,
vibes.
Man. Appreciate you being on here. Oh, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I can tell you that this show is 100% vibes.
I feel the energy.
We have a ton,
great.
and this is every Friday. And in fact, I'll be candid with you. My goal when I have guests on is to make them want to come back and watch the show.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so several people who are in the chat, who are active in the chat, were at one time or the other guests on the show. And that's like one of my goals. Like, I want you to have such a good time that you want to come back, even if all you're doing is watching and participating through the live chat. So there we go. We are currently live on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And so that's perfect because I want everybody to find out about your brand. Awesome. Let's just start with the basics. How did you get the idea to start Trade My Stuff? And to go along with that, why was Peloton the specific brand that caught your eye rather than, like, if I'm going to start a used gym equipment business, I'm probably going to, if I don't just franchise it, I'm probably going to say, well, let's just do what Play It Again Sports does. You didn't do that. You went and kind of, like, as they say, niched down and went to Peloton. So tell me your origin story of your business. How'd you get the idea, and why was it Peloton that caught your attention?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I think Peloton, in the home gym fitness space is kind of like the first thing that comes to mind if you say like an indoor bike for a lot of people. And obviously it had its moments during COVID. But I think even before COVID, they had something like 500,000 active subscribers monthly. And today it's something like 3 million. So they've pivoted, they've grown a lot since COVID. Yeah. But I think that has a lot of mind share for people in terms of home gym equipment. Okay. My story is in cycling. I did a cross country trip when I was 17 from San Diego to New Jersey. So it was like 3,200 miles, about 100 miles a day. So that was my entree into the cycling world. And then I did some triathlons after that. So I was into endurance sports and fitness. And I was actually getting a Peloton during COVID. I wanted to save some money. So I went on Facebook Marketplace. I live here in New York, and I literally just put it in the back of a cab. And by the time I got home, there were like parts of it that were not working properly. Like the resistance wasn't really good. And I think one of the bottle cages had snapped off. And I was pretty bummed out about it because it was a few $100. And I just thought, there's got to be like a better solution. And then I was looking at some earnings reports because I think at the time, I think it was late 22, um, Peloton stock was just plummeting. I mean, it reached a, a big high of like $130 a share, and it was going to like 60, 50, 20. Today it's probably like $6-7. So they've gone down a significant amount from where they were during COVID. And I was trying to understand a little bit more about the Peloton business because I was familiar with the product as a lot of people are, and I loved it. And I was just trying to figure out like what was going on with the business. And I noticed that they've manufactured and sold over 4 million Pelotons. I think the number was like 4.5 million. And it's not like a publicly available number. You have to do some math with their earnings calls and their financials. But if you just divide their product sales by the average product price, you get the quantity. And so you get about 4.5 million units. And then if you compare that with the active subscribers, which even today, I think today it's like 2.9 million. It was around 3 million. And so that was kind of the light bulb moment to answer your question of like why Peloton. Yeah, I can't hear you for some reason, but oh, now I hear
It's
you.
like, so where are these used bikes going?
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
So I realized that like there are a million people that have a Peloton but are not using it. So there are a million bikes out there. That means that the price should be significantly lower than what Peloton is selling it for. And then just my experience with moving the Peloton, these things weigh a lot. So I thought that there was something there. There was probably a better way to provide a easy service and reduce the price to make it more accessible. That was kind of the hypothesis.
Okay, so my wife is the cardio half of the family, okay, of the nuclear family. I do it because it's important. She does it because she loves it. All right. And so when I was working on the show, finishing up my show prep last night, she's walking by, headed to bed. I said, I kind of like brought up your brand to her. And also she's from New York. So I was like, she kind of like, it's like I hit both of her like interest points, right? And one of the things that we talked about is you've got a white glove service delivery, right?
Yep.
So couple that with your post that I saw, I commented on it on LinkedIn last night, where you're talking about your Peloton deal tracker, right? Yep. So for the sake of those who aren't, we talked about why you started it and what the initial product was, but for the sake of, again, people who may be finding out about you for the first time, walk us through the process, and I'll go ahead, I'll pull up the deal tracker for the sake of kind of like making it make sense, but walk us through the process of like how this works.
Yeah. So there are Pelotons all over the country, and so it didn't really make sense to just do this in New York, which is where we started. And so my partner Joey for a long time has been basically transporting used cars. He sells classic cars on a platform called Bring a Trailer. And so he had a really large logistics network to transport the cars. So the partnership really made sense. And when we partnered, we decided I was going to be on the Peloton expert, and he was going to have the logistics expertise. And so instead of just sticking to New York, we decided to be there wherever the Pelotons were. And so we built this Peloton deal tracker along with the Peloton marketplace, just so that people can have transparent pricing and great service for buying the best deals on a Peloton. So this isn't something
you go to Trade My Stuff. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but you go to TradeMyStuffMarketplace.com, which is what I did. And then you go to this Peloton deal tracker link right there. Is that correct?
Yep, that's exactly right. And it basically
happens.
It basically just aggregates all of the best prices, and you can put in your city. I think there are over 500 cities here right now. But this is for the deal tracker, and it'll spit out the best prices in your area that can be delivered to you. and we offer a 12-month warranty. So, people are sometimes hesitant when they're buying something used. But, the way the warranty works is if something breaks, we either replace it with a different Peloton pretty much the same week, or we fix it. So that's kind of how we, increase some more confidence in people's purchasing.
Okay. So that I just grabbed like some quick, like cities, that popped into my head. And yeah, it's like the thing though that kind of stuck out to me was even if somebody lives like say in New York, for example,
Yep.
you don't let them, like there's no local pickup.
No,
What's the reason for that?
Yeah, I think local pickup has been done already really well. I think if somebody is looking for local pickup, Facebook Marketplace, offers a really good way to just pick something up, or even Craigslist, right? And so I didn't want to create something that already existed. I wanted to create something that is a value add for people that don't like what exists.
Okay.
And I think that was kind of the vision for what we built here.
All right. So a fellow New Yorker, although my wife says she doesn't consider Long Island part of it. She's so hateful. She's from Brooklyn, right? But Dean from Black Widow Training Gear says, are you buying calls or puts for Peloton next week?
I'm not trading Peloton stock. And I think, despite we're tracking the deals, I think if you're using a Peloton, this is definitely a call, because the prices, I think, especially once this airs, the prices for these deals might go up. So,
there we go. Okay.
Snag the Peloton deals while they're on the deal tracker, because it's a link that takes you to one listing, and once that listing is gone, somebody took it. So yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because Jared says, it sounds like there's so many moving parts, but essentially, like I put in a whole bunch of different cities, but essentially if I wanted, so I'd go on there, put in Atlanta if I was looking for one, and then it would just show like whatever's in my area, and then I just pick out the one I wanted, and then you guys contact me and say, hey, okay, well, here's how we're gonna get it to you, and that kind of thing, right?
Not really. So you can actually just look at the one that you want. You can click on a link. You'll see the pictures. It'll tell you the condition, how many rides are on it, what year it was purchased, if there are any accessories that are included. So a lot of people will sometimes include like a mat or a weights or a pair of shoes in with their accessories. So you can sort on the marketplace for all those kinds of filters. And then you can just check out with a credit card or PayPal, and we do the pickup. We send you photos, videos, and we do white glove delivery service. So we set it up for you. You can make sure it's working, test it out upon delivery. And it's super hassle-free. It's basically our average delivery is like 1.5 days, but typically between 1 and 3 days, you get it delivered.
Jared, she's not trying to hear about Strong Island. I'm just telling you now from experience. All right. I'll tell you, Dean, she's not trying to hear it. So let me ask you this: do you have an official associate? Like, is Peloton aware that you exist? I mean, I'm assuming they are aware. Yeah. Do you have an official relationship with them or any of the other equipment brands? Because you sell more than just Peloton. You've got Hydro.
There's no official relationship. We definitely spoke to them, and the way I would think about it is it's kind of like a symbiotic relationship, where the bikes that are already out there, we are basically taking it from somebody who is a non-subscriber to somebody that's about to subscribe, right? And a subscription to Peloton is $44 a month. So to think about it from Peloton's perspective, every new customer that shops on Trade My Stuff is basically going to subscribe to Peloton's very high margin subscription service. So I think their margins are like 67%. I don't think they make much money on the actual equipment, right? But we're just getting it from a non-subscriber to a subscriber. And so now they're getting over $500 a year in this very high margin subscription service at no incremental cost, because we're doing the marketing, we're doing the delivery, the logistics, the warranty, the setup, all of that. And we're just getting it from a non-user to a user.
So essentially you're making it possible for them to get a subscriber without any acquisition cost on their
Absolutely. End. Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody buys a Peloton through your site, they won't be able to access the original warranty through Peloton that whoever owned it before them would have had. You guys so before you email me back, I was going to say that you guys offer an 18-month warranty. So you don't offer the 18-month warranty anymore.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. Actually, we can talk about that now. Instead, now you said that you stack. You have the option to stack 12-month warranties. So you offer 12, and then someone could say, well, I want to pay for the 12 twice, right? So would that make it a 24, or would it make it 2 consecutive 12s, which isn't exactly the same thing?
Yeah, no, it would be 2 years. So you'd get protected for 2 years. If anything were to break, we replace it. It used to be an 18-month warranty, but the pricing just makes more sense on a 12-month warranty, just because the transport costs, are several $100s to get it picked up and delivered, and so you have to price that out as like an insurance policy. So for 18 months, there's a higher period that you're insuring it for.
Okay, so now we can circle back to what my wife asked when I mentioned it to her, which is, well, what does the warranty cover? Do you cover everything Peloton would have covered on the original warranty? Like, what is it? Is it because she specifically said, what about tech support if a computer part stops working?
Yeah,
Just for
yeah,
example.
100%. So anything that you need to use the bike, so whether it's the Bluetooth, whether it's the Wi-Fi, it's the the touch screen, the keyboard, obviously the resistance, pedals, anything from normally using the bike. If you drop it downstairs, and the screen shatters, that's not covered. But pretty much everything else from just normally using the bike, if it's just sitting there and you're riding it every day, you're starting to get some issues, some noises coming from the crank, things like that, the magnetic resistance isn't working, that's covered. And we either send someone to fix the part, change the crank, replace the screen, or we'll swap it out with a totally different bike. And so Peloton doesn't offer a warranty on used products. And I think we're the only company that offers a warranty on a used Peloton. So I think it's a great service.
So before I ask you some other stuff about Peloton, I'm looking at your website, and I noticed, how like there's like the thing that you had to do in school is like pick out the thing that isn't the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I see treadmill, stair stepper, elliptical, refrigerator.
Yep.
So I know abs are made in the kitchen, but that's really a stretch, Ari. Why? How did we get stoves and refrigerators on your Trade My Stuff
for sure
site?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you think about what we do, the way I think about the business, the first thing is logistics, right? You're moving something that, on a Peloton Tread Plus, it's a $6,000 treadmill. It weighs 425 pounds. You need a team of 4 people to assemble, disassemble. That whole operation can take 2-3 hours just for the disassembly and assembly. So you need really technical people who are trained in setting things up, moving really, really heavy things without damaging something that's super expensive, super, delicate, right? And that same operation applies for bulky items like high-end appliances, or a massage chair, or a sauna, or a hot tub. I think right now we have probably like 800 hot tubs listed all over the US for crazy prices, like 60-70% off retail. And we have hot tub specialists that move, set up, install hot tubs. So from this perspective of a gym, of gym equipment, of setting up your home gym, it might not be so connected, but from the perspective of you have a logistics operation of 2,000 plus trained drivers. Well, if they're trained to do a Peloton Tread Plus that's 400 pounds, can they also do a Viking stove? And can that consumer save 70%? Instead of paying $15,000 for a Viking, can they pay $4,000 or $5,000? That's kind of the concept. So you get savings. We offer installation, warranty, stuff like that, and obviously the delivery.
All right, so I'm gonna think outside the box with you. All right.
All
So
right.
I remember Arnold Schwarzenegger said that he used to take vacations, like where he would go in the woods, take a bunch of weights. They go in the woods, lift weights all day, and while they're lifting, there's steaks like on the grill, right?
Yeah, gotta love Arnold.
So, based upon what you just told me, somebody could set up their home gym, maybe the back, and so you got to have a gym fridge because you got to put stuff in it. That's where you can put, your post-workout meal or whatever. But then they can also, let's say, you have a door to the backyard that's in part of that gym. Now you can go in the backyard and you've got food cooking on the grill that you also ordered from Trade My Stuff.
Yep.
Right. Yep. And so you could have a deadlift party, and after the deadlift party, you have drinks in the refrigerator that you got from Trade My Stuff, and you got steaks cooking on the grill that you got from Trade My Stuff.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah, all right. And then you guys,
and there's a sauna and a hot tub, and all that.
Now I don't know. I'm not
plunge.
a germaphobe, but you're not gonna convince me to get in a used hot tub. Okay, I'm just not gonna do it. But
that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Some people won't get on used gym equipment.
What?
Some people won't buy used clothing. But I think look, I think part of
it depends on what item of clothing it is. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not buying used shoes. In fact, we've discussed this on this exact show. There was something where they were selling used barefoot shoes, and barefoot shoes you typically wear with no socks. I'm not. That's like, to me, that's like buying a used pool shoe. I'm not doing that. All right. Sure. I've got several lines I'm drawing in real time. Yep. I'm not doing it. All right.
Yep.
But I might do a used sauna. Yep. And to me, used gym equipment, I mean, the bacteria dies. Most bacteria dies if it's exposed to air, right? And then if not, you just spray it with something, they'll die. But a hot tub, that's a breeding ground for things. So
I get it.
I'm just not going to be able to do it.
I get it. Okay. I mean, I think like the fact is, though, that on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, like tens of thousands of these are being bought used. And people are checking them out on Trade My Stuff. So I think the hot tubs will do great.
What's the weirdest thing that you've sold? It may not be weird to you, but let's put yourself in my shoes. What's the weirdest thing you've sold? I promise we're going to go back to the like legit questions, but I just have to know now. What's the weirdest thing you've sold?
Ever or on Trade My Stuff?
No, I did.
On Trade My Stuff?
It's a family show. On Trade My Stuff.
People have some really interesting accessories that they put on their Pelotons. I mean, the normal ones are like weights, obviously, and mats. Right. But there was somebody that had like a full 2-monitor computer setup on their Peloton. So it was like this custom desk that you can mount on your handlebars. And I thought that was pretty intense, because then you don't really get the Peloton experience.
How are you possibly? I mean, what are you possibly doing? There's no way you can make me believe that you're working while riding your. I can see you on a. So my wife has a what do they call it? Like the office treadmill thing.
Yep.
The walking pad. Yeah, she's got one of those. It's not that brand, but she's got one of those. That type that family of product, right? So I can see that, because you're really just shifting your weight, right? If you're using it while you're working. But I just can't see doing all that on a bike. So okay,
it's pretty weird.
So let's go back to the Peloton, or just in general. So the subscriptions are not active, as you said, right? So I know you got the link on your website to set up, for people to click on so they can go set up their account. But is it challenging to get into Peloton ecosystem as the owner of a used model, or is it kind of easy?
Yeah.
Do you have to walk people through the process?
It changed slightly in July or August of 2024, but it's super similar. Basically, there's we do the factory reset, so none of the data from the previous owner is going to be on the equipment, but it's basically just a QR code. You scan it, and you create your account on your phone, so you don't actually have to touch too many buttons on the screen. You do it on your phone. You subscribe on your phone. Put in your credit card information on your phone. We don't have to do any of that, but we will wait around, so that you can test it out. Hop on the bike, make sure the subscription is working, make sure the classes are working, the sound, the Bluetooth. If your Apple Watch wants to connect, we help you connect that. So connecting the Peloton subscription takes like 2-3 minutes. It's super simple. In August, what I was saying is Peloton introduced an activation fee, which I call is like a tax for anybody buying a used Peloton. They basically do nothing, and they charge a $95 activation fee if you're buying it used.
Do you think that's fallout from the fact that you exist, basically?
It might be, but they also mentioned in the same earnings call when they made that announcement for the activation fee, that the secondhand Peloton market was up 16% quarter over quarter. So they saw that there was a signal of growth. It might be because of what we're doing, or maybe just people were interested in getting secondhand Pelotons. But they introduced this as kind of like a way to raise some free money, sure. I guess. But yeah, I mean it's $95. It's a one-time activation fee, but you still can subscribe like within 2-3 minutes. The setup is pretty simple.
Okay. Now I want to point out that you do have a YouTube channel, so everybody can go subscribe to. I've got the links for all this in the description for this for the video on YouTube. So if you're watching on LinkedIn, just head on over to my Garage Gym Life Media on YouTube, and you will see the links to subscribe to Trade My Stuff on YouTube.
Awesome.
Also, you guys make sure you check out Trade My Stuff. I'm sorry, at Trade More Stuff on Instagram. So those of you who are watching on Instagram, go ahead. Follow at Trade More Stuff. He's got some good content on there as well. And then everybody, the site that I was just showing is the website, the new website. You want to go to trademystuffmarketplace.com.
Yeah.
And if you just join, we do have Ari Kimmelfeld, who is the co-founder of Trade My Stuff. So I'm asking a lot of questions basically because like what I know about the used marketplace is pretty much, so I've been working out from home since 2001. So I went through the full gamut of newspaper classifieds, word of mouth, Craigslist, and I've been in some sketchy parking lots because of Craigslist, buying, whatever for the gym, and then played against sports. That's where I got my first actual legitimate barbell set, which I coincidentally paid for because I got stuff off of Craigslist and took the stuff I didn't want to play it against sports and traded it in so I could bring the price of the barbell and plates down. I
love Play It Against Sports. I think it's a great business model.
That's like the biggest, like that's why I brought them up as an analog to what you do, but what you do is slightly different. So you have people who sell you equipment. Do you ever take stuff in trade? So let's say somebody's got a first generation Peloton and they're like, hey, I want to get that used second or third generation from you. Can I trade in my first generation to you and use that to bring down the price of whatever I want to get?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have two different services now, right? Like you said, we have the other website, trademystuff.com, and the new website, Trade My Stuff Marketplace. Okay. The marketplace, I would say it's more like Craigslist, or Facebook Marketplace. Okay. But with payments and delivery kind of built in. So let's say you have a Gen 1 Peloton and you want to get rid of it and you want to get the Peloton Tread, right? Because those retail for like $3,500, but there are a few on the marketplace for like $800, $1,000.
Oh wow, okay.
So like super cheap, and like you can list the Gen 1 for like $500, $400 on the marketplace, and then we do the pickup. We pay upon pickup, so you can decide how you want to get paid, whether it's Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, bank transfer, and you don't have to deal with anybody in a parking lot on Craigslist. So it's one of our trained drivers. They know how to disassemble it, or even if it's like a Nordic Track treadmill, right, and you want to trade that in for a Peloton treadmill. So simply list that. We pay upon pickup. It's super easy. That's one way to do it. Direct, we pretty much buy all different kinds of Pelotons. So all the bikes, Bike Pluses, treads, rows, as well as Bowflex and the tonal home gyms, the smart home gyms. So if you go direct, you'll probably get a little bit less, being that you're selling to a business versus you're selling to an individual.
Okay.
But the pickup is generally, it's the same pickup, but it could be a little faster, right? Because
Gotcha.
it's just one of our drivers putting it in their van. It's not relying on market forces.
Gotcha. Okay. So to kind of piggyback off of that, do you do sales on consignment for sellers?
If you think about it, the marketplace basically is selling it on consignment, right? So if you have a home gym and you list all the stuff on the marketplace, we don't charge you anything to put something on the marketplace. You're making the listing
that makes sense.
totally for free, and there's you don't even need a password. You just have a OTP code come to your phone and it's texted to you, and that's basically your account. You don't need a password. Just make a listing and it's live, and then people can find it on the deal tracker. So if it's a really good deal, if you just are getting rid of your Peloton for whatever reason, and you list it at a good price, it's gonna get picked up, and it's safe. Like you don't have to deal with a stranger in a parking lot, like you said.
All right. So now you're saying that it's like for example, we have an Argata water rower downstairs.
Yeah.
Right? And
we have those.
I guess I'm not supposed to say Argata water rower because water rower is a brand. We have an Argata. All right. Downstairs. So hypothetically, if I wanted to sell it, I could sell it to you guys, because it sounds like your site might be a better fit for, like on Facebook Marketplace. I noticed that weights tend to sell really well, weight equipment, but sometimes the cardio stuff doesn't move as fast. So your site might be a different solution. What's the turnaround time roughly for somebody?
It's got to be location based. I think location is super important. Pictures are important. Prices are obviously important. So it's a couple of factors. But in terms of visibility and findability, I think the goal of the Trade My Stuff marketplace is to make it super accessible for people. So the first thing that we're showing you is the deal tracker, right? So when somebody is looking for a Peloton, you pretty much just put in your location and all the best deals for all the models, all the conditions, all you're seeing is prices. So if you're shopping by price, we have that. If you're shopping by condition, we have that. If you're shopping by category and model, we have that. And then you click on a link and then it takes you to that specific listing that you can check out all the details. So like how many rides are on it, what condition it's in, all the specific photos, where it's located exactly, if there's anything included, all of those details are there. And then the checkout is just with like a credit card. So if you've ever shopped on Amazon or on eBay, it's the same checkout process. So that's, I think we're, on Facebook, like you can list something and then 10 people can message you, hi, is this available?
Yeah. Oh my God.
So the people that are messaging you don't want to be sending that message, and you don't want to be receiving that message. All you want is to sell your stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And all they want to do is just like, they like it, right? They think it's a good price. That's why they're messaging you. They want to buy it. Right. So why not just put in your credit card and buy it? And then why don't you just get paid upon pickup, like, and not get scammed with like some Zelle scam or something on Marketplace.
So I am curious though. So like the thing that's in my head is like indoor cardio equipment is more likely to sell. I could be completely wrong, but in my mind, indoor cardio equipment is more likely to sell when it's colder outside, or just like a bad time of the year, right? Yeah. And then again, like you said, is location dependent as well. So, but do you see that trend? Now that it's been a few years.
It's interesting because it's definitely location independent, right? Like Florida is not going to have it's not going to be that cold, in the winter, but then obviously in the north, like it's colder.
You got alligators.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not making this up. I had somebody send me a thing, and he said that the alligators in Florida have learned they've studied the behavior of their prey, which is us, and they've learned, I'm not making this up, that they can, they've learned how to hit the ring doorbell, how to ring your doorbell, because they've learned that if you ring the door, if you do this, food comes to the door and opens the door. God. Yeah. Okay. So now, who wants to go jogging or whatever, or cycling in that environment? Not the kid. Wild. Okay. So I'm like,
that's insane.
Give me an indoor bike right now. I'm not. Or give me a treadmill right now.
Yeah. I mean, I would say in terms of seasonality, it's definitely busiest around the holiday season and January.
Okay.
That's like 2.5 times, sales in a typical month.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say there's like a real trend around the year. Some weeks, some months are better than others.
Gotcha.
But I'm not gonna say random. I think, some of it is probably like economy dependent as well.
Right.
But I think there's some external factors, but I wouldn't really think about it as like, is it raining outside? Are people going to be buying a Peloton?
I'm thinking more like snow, ice storms, like depending on, as you said, where you are.
Yeah,
But I
maybe,
got you.
maybe I just don't have enough data, or I'm not tracking the data close enough.
Okay.
It might be.
Okay. All right. So you have a ton of positive reviews from customers on Google. You got positive customer testimonial videos on your site. But I want you to tell me about a time when things didn't work out well, because
For
that's
sure.
what people think. Well, yeah, all that sounds great, but how do we know? So tell me about a time when a customer wasn't satisfied
Yeah.
for whatever reason,
Yeah.
and how'd you handle it?
Yeah. So happy to talk about it. And like we focus a lot on customer service, because at the end of the day, our competition is not Peloton. Our competition is Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
And so our goal is to provide like a white glove delivery service that you can trust, that you're paying with a credit card. It's safer. You're not showing up with cash, in a parking lot, somebody sketchy. And so the whole premise of our business is the best customer experience, best customer support. When I shop from a new company, the first thing I do is I go to Google or Reddit and I look at the bad reviews. So I love this question, and
Man.
I'll go into it, because obviously things do go wrong. Something happened yesterday where a cable was snagged and we had to replace the equipment. So those are the easy stories, where something is not working or not as expected, or there's a scuff, and you can replace it, replace the bike, replace the part. Some of the craziest story, and I'll just share one. And this one ended up, in a negative review on Google, but we made it right. And so basically, somebody ordered a treadmill. This was maybe 6 months ago. I think it was in Austin, Texas, and they found it. They were hunting for a discounted treadmill for a while, and this was like the best deal. And then we gave them a discount, and there were no Peloton treadmills at the time. It was in really high demand in Texas, especially in Austin, and it was actually coming from Dallas. So it was quite a trip, and for some reason the treadmill was stored outside for about a week. And it was disassembled. The delivery driver had stored it outside, whether it was going in a storage unit or whatnot, but it was forgotten outside, and it wasn't stolen. It was on their property, but that it had some bird poop on it. And we get videos and we inspect it upon pickup, but what happens between the pickup and the delivery at the time, we didn't track, and so that was our mistake. And so that treadmill got delivered to the customer. And obviously, as you can imagine, I don't know what I would do, but the customer was really upset. They spent a lot of money on this treadmill. Yes, it was used, but they're buying it from a company that's offering a white glove delivery service, and it's getting assembled, and you see that there's literally bird poop on this treadmill. And that was a super disappointed customer. And obviously the right thing to do is to replace that treadmill. And that's what we did. And it took 2 days because it was a long trip, from Dallas to Austin to get it replaced. And it was a lot of hard work for the drivers, and they had to be compensated as well. So at the end of the day, we replaced the treadmill. The customer had a working treadmill that was almost new, in a pretty short turnaround. But to have to waste time the first time, because it takes 45 minutes to an hour to assemble one of these things. And you're just looking at it and you're like, is this actually happening? Is there bird poop in my living room on this treadmill? And that was very disappointing. But from these hard experiences, you kind of learn, and it kind of gets put into your checklist and your process and your system, and it makes the rest of the network much stronger and better, because now every single driver gets trained on confirming that it's in good condition before it gets delivered, on how to store it, how not to store it. So So that was a tough situation, and looking back at it, it was good, in terms of like making the company better. But it was a disappointed customer, and it reflected in their bad review. But I think he put in the review that we replaced it. So if somebody's looking at bad reviews like I am, hopefully they trust that we make it right.
Okay. So last one from me. I mentioned that you have a ton of reviews, but you've also been featured in some pretty high profile publications. Like I mentioned, TechCrunch, New York Post. There's some other ones too. When did it hit you that you might have stumbled across a potential game changer?
I think it went back to the Peloton financials. I think when it's not in the financials, but when I calculated how many Pelotons were out there and how many subscribers were active, so it was like a difference of 1.5 million people. You had 1.5 million bikes out there just sitting collecting dust, or as I call them, glorified clothing racks.
Yeah.
And obviously we could talk about the reasons or why. I think there was a lot of pull forward demand during COVID. People bought during COVID for obvious reasons, and for the next couple of years,
reopens.
Right, and then the gym reopens. That's why you had the Peloton, but they're growing. And if you think about it, in 2019 they had 500,000 subscribers, and today, way past COVID, you have 3 million active subscribers, and this is month to month, right? So it's not like these are COVID subscribers, but what you do have from COVID is all these bikes, and because you had the pull forward demand, you have 1.5 million bikes just sitting out there collecting dust, glorified clothing racks. And that was kind of the light bulb moment of, you have all of these bikes out there. Peloton is a great brand. It still is. It's a great piece of machinery. In my opinion, I think it's the best, indoor bike. And it has a lot of mind share in people. Like when people think of, I'm going to soup up my home gym, they think of a Peloton when it comes to cardio, whether it's the tread, whether it's the row, whether it's the bike. Peloton is like a lot of mind share. And then I thought, well, if there's 1.5 million out there, supply and demand, that means that the price is not $1,450 or $2,500 or $6,000, for a Peloton Tread Plus, but it's got to be at least 50% off. And now we're seeing prices of $200 for a Peloton bike that retails for $1,500.
Right.
These prices are because of the supply and demand. And so we're, I think the articles were focused on our operation and why we exist. But I think the fact that the bikes are out there and we're just providing the white glove service is kind of, what they found interesting. And I love the articles. They should check it out.
All right. So that was pretty much it for me, but this is probably the most important part. How can people reach out to you? Like, what are you've got 2 different websites now. So let's go ahead and let people know how they can reach you if they have a used Peloton, or if they have a used piece of equipment they want to sell, or stove,
for sure.
or if they want to explore buying one from you themselves. Like, what are the websites that they need to be visiting?
Yeah, absolutely. So the marketplace is trademystuffmarketplace.com. If that's too long, just go to trademystuff.com and you'll find the link to the marketplace there. It's super simple. You just fill out a form for the equipment that you're selling, or cold plunge, or sauna, or appliance, and you can list it with literally just a phone number. It takes less than a minute. That's if you're selling. If you're buying, there are, I think, over 5,000 listings right now all across the US. Everything there is delivery enabled, so we do the delivery. You can inspect it upon delivery, and we also offer a pre-pickup check-in, so that we give you videos, photos of what we're picking up, and if it doesn't look right to you in the videos, you can cancel the pickup. So that's kind of where to find us and how to engage with us. In terms of me personally, I'm on X at Ari Kimmel, and then we also have an Instagram for the company. It's Trade More Stuff, and we make some helpful Peloton YouTube videos on how to move treadmills, Peloton bikes, how to disassemble them. So if you ever need help with that, you can watch the videos, or we offer a standalone moving service. So if somebody needs help moving their treadmill, if they're moving from one house to another or across the country, we also ship internationally. So if somebody's going to Puerto Rico or Mexico or Dubai or wherever they might be going, we can ship pretty much anywhere.
All right, man. So we're ready to wrap up the show now. You kind of opened my eyes because I knew I could see from looking at the website, the Peloton, the tonal, the hydro, but the knowledge that, even, that there are that you guys will take other brands, on your site to sell. And it gives it gives like another potential avenue to try to sell something that you're not using that somebody else could make good use of. So I really like that you found a way. I like it when people find a way to add value to the home gym community, especially in ways that are innovative that nobody else is doing. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you being on here, man.
I really appreciate you having me on and letting me tell the story and hopefully give people some value. I hope
heck yeah, man. I'd love to have you come back on too.
That'd be great, and I'll be tracking your shows now on Friday. You gotta follow her.
Thank you. Hey, that's what I need. Yeah. Hey, and you're on LinkedIn, so I need you to go follow the show page.
Follow, repost. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Follow the show page. Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life. All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. Best of success. Thank you again for being here, man. And
thanks so much, John. This was a lot of fun.
Enjoy your weekend, man.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. So that was Ari Kimmelfeld from Trade My Stuff. Has a really innovative product, or rather service. And I think that I was serious. I think that there's tremendous value because all of us, if you're watching this, you probably got a home gym and you probably have a piece of home gym equipment, specifically cardio equipment that you might not, you've been trying to get rid of, but maybe it's on Facebook Marketplace and it's not really moving. Well, now you've got another option. You got Trade My Stuff Marketplace.com. So go ahead and check out TradeMyStuffMarketplace.com. I have no affiliate link with them or anything like that. I get paid $0 for telling you guys to go check it out. I just think that it is a good idea, and it may have potential to help you guys out. So that's our show. Thank you to my guests, Carlos Sanchez from Synergy Custom Fitness, Jake Jaworski from HomeGymCon, and my final guest, Ari Kimmelfeld from Trade My Stuff. One more time, if you have not already done so, please support this show by liking the video. Even if you're watching on Instagram, please go subscribe to us on YouTube. We've got over 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we're trying to grow to hit our next threshold goal. So please go subscribe to us on YouTube. If you have a LinkedIn, please go on LinkedIn. Even if you haven't used it in a while, go on LinkedIn and follow Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life, the show page. And then as well, if you are going to be at HomeGymCon, if you even think you're going to be at HomeGymCon, go to the description, click that link to sign up for the live in-person show because we're going to be doing the giveaways. You don't want to miss out on that at all. And as always, look at that. We got a celebrity, the one known as Toms. So for those of you who are watching, the one known as Toms is one of the guys who's in the Recliner of Rage video singing backup for me. So he's one of the guys that you guys bought a coffee for. So appreciate you being here, Tommy. I'll see you on Sunday, man. And as always, my mom watched the show, and she said, terrific show, very interesting guest. Great job, John. Thank you so much for watching, Mommy. And I love you. And thank you again. Thank you for all the support. And to all my family who are watching, thank you so much. And to you guys who are in the live chat, thanks for watching. Next week, we have someone who you guys told me about. Is Coach Kinsey from the Coach Kinsey YouTube channel. She will be with us to talk about how she is building her YouTube channel from the ground up. Also have more exciting segments for you. So make sure you set your alarm clock next week to get up way too early with Garage Gym Life once again next Friday. Until next week, keep on stacking days. Peace.